Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gad, your host. We had a nice amount of people ordering because I got a lot of sales going on. Check them out. Make sure you have the most recent services offered and priceless. A lot of people getting 3 or more natal chart readings. Gentlemen to the left requested this, and you see Venus. As soon as I said gentlemen to the left, I saw Venus. And that's a good spot to have Venus. And let me count that. I just looked down, but this is spirit. That's why I said I know how spirit's talking. Let me see where we at. Yep, that's first house, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Listen to that. Seven. So this is what's going on, y'all. The one he's gonna be with is calling out. I've seen this many times. Remember, I've done thousands of these charts because I swear, as soon as I said that it was Venus, I look at Venus. Venus is in the seventh house, and that's the best one of the best spots you can have Venus in seventh house, and it's Sagittarius. See, this is real. This is the real shit I talk about. See, I'm not one of these clowns out here just saying what these people want to hear just to make a lot of money because they want to be lied to and they willing to pay anybody that's lying to them. I talk that real shiznick. And that's why I'm always respected universally wise. And that's why I still got loyal people down with me despite the little itty bitty stuff these grown adults want to be on. They want to be in kitty land where everything's fake and you don't challenge or question it. But I can't do that. So right away, I'm hit up. Sagittarius is a great place. It's more mature. Represents the ninth house. We're going to talk about that when we get there. You got Venus there and you got Venus in the seventh. So I'm going to tell you right now what you're looking for this gentleman. And that person wanted me to know right away. What you're looking for in this gentleman, you're looking for a Libra type Sagittarius connection. Because Libra rules the seventh house. And Venus rules Libra and Taurus. And you even got Uranus there, meaning this is going to come out of nowhere with that Aquarius energy as well. Because he's got a lot going over there. But we'll get there. But right now, we're going to just jump around this chart real quick. And we're going to be looking for like a Libra or Sagittarius connection. Chart to the... Now, the chart on the left, let me know so he knows who. Because right now, of course, I take out all identifying information. So let me just give you one moment. So let me say, I think it says female number 1. Let me make sure. Yep. Female number 1, sun sign Aries, ascendant Sagittarius. So female number 1 is in the middle because I did this by how he gave me the information. And female number 2 is on the right hand side. So writing well, go back. Venus, Sagittarius, Libra. Now her medium coeli is Libra. And don't worry, we'll look at it more. And this one, the one in the middle, the female in the middle, she was born around a new moon. A new moon in Aries. Now, if you notice what's going on with her, she's got a lot of even that's Aries. That's interesting. She got new moon in Aries and her Juno is in Aries. Which house is this? Fourth house. Fourth house of Cancer. So she's got a direct connection to Cancer Aries, but it don't stop there because her Venus is in Pisces. Pisces Gemini. Because Gemini rules the third house, and when you go to her seventh house, I believe that's her seventh house. That's her sixth house. Yup. And even in her seventh house, you got Cancer again. So that's some deep shit right there. Go to the next chart. Now notice how both these charts got Mars in Pisces and Venus in Pisces. If you notice, these two charts right here look a lot alike, but they not. I was going to say, I hope I ain't do the second. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I hope I ain't do the second chart, do the chart twice. It's not. Look at them real good. But you know, these two charts right here, these two females look a lot alike. See, that's why I like doing this twin flame stuff, because I've seen twin flames where people look alike and all kind of crazy shit. That's how powerful this shit is. That's why I said, this is where I'm at. I'm with the real science. I ain't got no time for this bubblegum matrix. Lie to me, because I can't deal with the truth. I ain't never been no coward. So you can already tell these two are connected too. These two people right here, definitely connected. And more will be revealed. Both of them got like a type of Capricorn connection. So we're going back to his chart again. And I said Venus, Libra, kind of. Or Libra, Sagittarius. And this is interesting. Let me see. And both of them got a, yeah. So right here, I'm still telling you, somebody's calling you, which is Sagittarius and Libra. Just letting you know that. And we'll keep looking at everything. But that person spoke out as soon as I started talking. And when I looked to see that Venus, right? But that's one thing he got, and I think he wrote me and said that it was common. He said something about the life path, but he said there was a lot of similarities. Also, everybody get a free report and also take notes. But see, what I like about him, he's doing the right thing though, because he was doing his own check as well and stuff like that. Because what I get, and there's a commercial out right now on YouTube, the bald-headed black male. He's like some type of psychologist or something. And he said he gets a lot of people that want to use a law of attraction, but they want to use it at a low level, like a very egotistical, selfish level. And he said that's why it ain't going to work. And unfortunately, I can tell you for a fact that's all you get. You get a lot of people, what about me? What about me? But this is all universal. And the more you transform back into the universal, the more you'll see that stuff just goes your way. But as long as you want about what about me, what about me, what about me, you're gonna have ego and all kind of stuff. A female just wrote me because she's her zodiac sign makes it very difficult for her to want to be alone. So she's like she's almost in a form of idolatry. And I told her, another psychic told her, but she's still trapped up in that. And she don't want to study it, she don't want to understand it, she just want what she want. And that's a horrible way to be in any relationship, because it's gonna be your own selfishness that's damaging it. Like I said, like if a person don't do what you want them to, then the first thing you do is jump with the other nigga. Don't nobody want to see that. Just like a female don't want to see that either. Oh, she didn't do what I wanted her to, so now I'm gonna go jump in the bed, jump in the car, hang out with another girl, my other girlfriend. Don't nobody want to see that, because they're not gonna trust you. And especially if, you know, you don't even give a person a chance. Because they might call you back, you know what I'm saying? And you already out with somebody else, so you ain't even get a person a chance to, you know, get their mind right or anything. So you can't. That's not a good. That's not a good look for any type. Like that type of person wants a relationship, but that's not good for any relationship because it's real selfish. So this whole universal thing, you want to learn. Like if you do it correctly, you want to learn. And this one's gonna be tight already, but it's starting off interesting. It's starting off interesting because there's definitely a third person, whether you want to believe that or not, whether you met this person or not. But that was the first thing she wanted me to know. Oh no, he's supposed to be with me. Just look at the seventh house. It says it all. And I'm looking at it like, yeah, I know. So we're gonna see what it's saying. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna go around his chart now as it pertains. We'll look at the other chart, but we're trying to go around his chart first. This is all I'm saying. We're trying to go around his chart first because he's the one that ordered it. So we're gonna try to see what his chart says and how it applies to either one of those charts. And sometimes, like I said, when the pieces don't seem like they don't fit, it's because they don't fit. There might be a feeling, like it might be a female, and this could happen depending on, you know, how much you get out. Sometimes it's an age thing, but it could be that female that it just seems right, but for some reason they just don't click. And I used to work with a female like that, but she had no desire as far as anything other than work. But at work, we was almost inseparable. But that was at work. So sometimes you find shit like that in life. Things will click a certain way. And those type of people, you probably had a past life relationship with them. And some people teach you that when you come here, this has already been mapped out by you. Like I'm a firm believer that even though me and my twin, you know, had to see each other in this life or whatever, but it wasn't meant to be other than us seeing each other, and then all kind of hell broke loose between us, so we never connected. But I don't think it was meant to be. I think anything that happens is meant to be. A lot of people don't believe that, but I think anything that's meant to happen will happen, and a lot of shit when it don't happen is because it wasn't meant to happen. Just like right now, this time of year, everybody knows how it is when it gets close to holidays. But I'm getting a whole lot of deja vu feelings, a whole lot of stuff is going on even in astrology. Now, the other night I was coming out of some location and just happened to look down and saw a brand new food town thing you put on your keychain. But it's your card. So I looked at it, but it was brand new. See, that's a message. That's how you know that's a message from Spirit. Just like we started this off. That was a message from Spirit. Go right to the 7th house, look at Venus and Sagittarius. That's the real person. That's the person saying, oh no, he's supposed to be with me. So I knew that food town was somebody's message. And I was like, well, who could that message be from? Well, it could be from my Kenyan, because when I was dating my Kenyan, we used to always be in food town shopping all over. And then the clerk or whatever she was, clerk or whatever you call them, another female that I was close to, not close to, but it was real unique with her. But I think that was her higher self. Because like I said, this time of year, people are thinking, well, I feel lonely, or the person I'm with, I don't really feel, you know, this is really working out, and who made me feel a certain way, or who seemed serious. And they start thinking about your ass. Even though when they had you, they dissed you and played you out. But this time of year, as soon as a person I'm thinking more mature or more serious, then your name come up. So there's no doubt in my mind that that wasn't that female's higher self trying to make a connect. Now that don't mean if I saw her in real life, she would be that much different. But I have seen her at times try to reach out, even though she closed all the doors in the beginning. I have seen her in later times try to reach out, but she always goes back to that I call it little girl mentality, where you're just gonna keep playing games no matter what. And I'm on some grown man bi. I don't have no time for no little boy shit. So that's what's up. Now why am I doing that? Because you got two situations right here, and I'm telling you it's a third. So trying to help you realize that when you begin to trust more and more in the universe, you can still be honest and speak your mind, but really if something's meant to be, it will be. And you never, like, people don't get this, but you never have to worry about, oh, does she really like me, or what do I need to do to get her to notice me, and why is this? Just trust the universe. And like I said, when I speak from the hips, and everybody know it. So it is what it is. That's why I had some crazy broad thinking I liked her. Any female I liked, they always knew it, because I always told them. So whatever she was thinking, like, she took my kindness for weakness, but it wasn't no interest in her personally. So you get all kind of crazy people. I just had to put somebody on block recently, especially with all the stuff going on in the stars right now. So what I'm trying to teach people who are listening, that no matter what you're feeling and what you're thinking, If something really is meant to be, nobody's really going to stop that. And like I said, it's hard sometimes. It all depends on what your emotional needs are. Because you might be interested in two people, and one might be, yeah, I'm interested in us being together too, but this is how I view it. And they may not be as physically, involved as you would like. Like you might be the type of person that want to see somebody more, talk to him on the phone, or just be with him. But that person might be, yeah, well, I want to be in a relationship, but I don't need all that. That's a little too clingy for me. But then the other person might be exactly like that. So even though you feel like, oh, this is my whatever you feeling, even though you feel like that's the one you should be with, it's obviously the one in your heart want to be with is one that's like you or whatever you're looking for. So you got to make these decisions. That's why I said people think it's simple. It's not simple. And some people think you just supposed to be with your twin. But I know a whole lot of twins that don't get along. And I know twin flames that they're inseparable. That's why I tell you, if it's meant to be, who can stop it? If something's meant to be from the universe, who can stop it? So you got to learn how to open up. You got to learn how to let the universe in. So we could do all that studying and we could think we got it down to a T. But something's going to come and shake you up. Like what just happened to me was a big shake up. Because that's a third person saying neither one is me. Or wherever you see this Venus, Libra, Sagittarius situation, or whatever your seventh house is saying, because that's exactly where I was pulled to immediately. Just as soon as I started this, immediately I was pulled in. As soon as I see it, I said, oh shoot, this person's talking and talking loud to me. But like I said, I'm intuitive. So we'll find out more, but I want to put that out there. But again, when you're taking notes and listening and stuff, it'll help you. Because a lot of people sit there and try to listen to all this information. You're going to get hit with a lot. You also get the free report that totally explains astrology, all these houses, stuff with archangels and all that. So I'm going to be looking at that as well. So like I said, what we're going to try to do right now is go around his chart. And we'll be bouncing back and forth when it's appropriate. Alright, I'm back. Give me a moment. Alright, so again, we're looking at the chart on the left, which is the male who requested this reading. And we'll pop around as it leads. Ascendant Gemini, multitasker, very creative, mental person, but they do things short. And that, could if you're in a long-term situation, Gemini would have a problem with that because Gemini is short, and even in conversation, Gemini don't like to go too deep in conversation. They go with publishing, poetry, rhyming, very creative. Might be in broadcasting. About the brotherhood and siblings. Could also be like young people, young education. The 0 is 28. 0 degree is like Uranus energy. And that's, like I said, stuff to come out of nowhere. And if you notice, you got that Uranus in your 7th house. And that's your whole love. And if you notice, you got Mercury. See my point? See that you're learning a little bit more right there. So this person that's in your 7th house is any of that. Could be even Gemini energy. Like the more you look at the chart, the more it's gonna come out. And you got a lot of activity in that 7th house. So those are like that. That's what I mean. That's because the other person is a Libra that I was talking about. Those are the type of people they kind of will almost lose their mind if they're not with somebody. And sometimes, like you said, you just gotta chill. But that 28 is what I'm telling you. 28 is somebody. 28 is too much. And then Uranus energy, that 0 degree, is coming out of nowhere. It's like Aquarius energy. And another thing about Aquarius, the same way. because they kind of like give up kind of quick. Aquarius and Gemini both, they want it a certain way, and if they don't get it, they kind of give up too quick. So the first thing I would tell you, save yourself a lot of time, and you're gonna have to work on like stepping into reality and really dealing with it. And like, I don't go back and forth with people. I just know what's on your chart. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go back and forth. But there's gonna be an issue of a whole lot of wanting it now and wanting it right now and shit like that. And sometimes when people are not thinking, like I said when I first started this video, when they're not thinking, they just dive in and get all emotional with it. You can't get emotional. So you got to balance out both the mind and emotions. The mental, that's why you're dealing with Gemini, mental and Mercury and emotions. You got to balance out both of them. And they seem like they're encouraging you to communicate. That's what I'm seeing too. Because I told you, Venus caught my attention on your chart immediately, and it's right next to Mercury, conjunct Mercury. So you better off communicating, because when you communicate, then can't nobody say they don't know. Like I said, that female going off thinking I liked her just because I was being nice. Any female, they know. And I don't care, because some people say play the game, play the game. And that is a trickster. That is Mercury energy too. The magician could be that. But you got to be careful, because sometimes when you play the game, it blows up in your face. When you let somebody know what's up, then you can't say they didn't know. Because guess what? Let's just say you don't let them know, and then they go with somebody else or sleep with somebody else or start seeing with somebody else, and then they say to you, well, if you would let me know, I wouldn't have did it. See my point? So don't give a person a way out. Let them know exactly what's up. And then whatever. And I also learned that sometimes when you tell a person what's up, it might give them a couple of days. But then when they come back, because I've had females that didn't like me, wasn't attracted to me, didn't like me, nothing. And I told them how I felt about them. And next time I seen them, like two days later, 3 days later, 4 days, they was a totally different person. They was all up on me and shit. Like, they was totally different. So you gotta, that's why I say I don't play that fuckery. I don't play those fuck games. Because all that shit is fuckery. And then when you're dealing with the magician, and that's fuckery too. That 0 degree is Uranus energy, but it's in Gemini. So this is a guy coming out of nowhere. And like, that's the love story, that's the poet, but females ain't feeling you. See, don't forget my ascendant is Gemini too. And my sun sign is Leo. So I always wanted to be in love. I was always with the poetry, and the females didn't really believe it. Even though I really was sincere, but now that I look back, they was right. Because even though I was sincere and I was really doing that, they want to see the real. Like, if you really feel that way, then walk this walk with me. And I was a typical Gemini. Like, I'm only walking that walk with you if. So they was right. But I was younger, I didn't know. But now because of astrology, I know. Don't be so quick to jump in if you're gonna be so quick to jump out. And don't get me wrong, I think some of my relationships I did go long term, but then they still failed anyway. And once I saw that, I was like, oh, fuck this. I'm not gonna waste my whole life on this planet. There's too much stuff I want to do in my life than this shit. And that's like I said, but that's a typical Gemini. My ascendant is a Gemini, just like yours. So then you got 15 degrees with your AC. Your EP is the east point where the sun was going over the ecliptic when you were born. Your AC is your ascendant when the sun was going over the horizon when you was born. But the EP is like your ego. Your ego. And the AC is your rising sign. But it's also in your first house, which also makes it your personality. So that's how the world would see you. Like I said, you're multitasking right now because you're asking about 2 females. See my point? So that's Gemini right there. That's totally Gemini. So it's multitasking. You try to balance it and all that. So you have to learn how to and you're doing the right thing, getting the reading and stuff. But you gotta learn how to balance that shit up. Because otherwise you're gonna be on some Uranus coming out of nowhere with bullshit, or your feelings or something, and it's still you're confusing people because they don't know. And like I said, that's another thing I had to learn. Because it's already going to be difficult because men and women are just different. So it's already going to be difficult and stuff like that. But with a chart like yours so far, it's not going to help. It's not going to help the longevity, and it's not going to help to make somebody believe in you. Because it's going to be it's almost going to be like in spurts and stuff. An example I can give you is Shawn Michaels and Sunny. Now, when Sunny and her boyfriend Candino, I think his name was Ray Candino. I'm just gonna say Candino. When they came to the WWE from ECW, Ray Candino wanted to make friends with everybody. He was a nice guy, and he brought Sunny around all those men. And that was the biggest mistake he made, because up until that point, it looked like it was cool. And I guess he didn't have those kind of problems at ECW, or at least he never found out what she was about. But once he got to the WWE, he was immediately introduced to some of the biggest lowlifes of that time. That's the Clique. Whether they like it or not, but I know their stories. Although you're dealing with a bunch of lowlifes, as far especially when it came to women, but also about backdoor politics in more ways than one. But I'll leave that alone. So they were already going to get. They already had made up their mind to get rid of Ray. They didn't want the competition from ECW. They gave those guys a hard way to go. Only the strong could survive, and you had to really be good in the ring. Because if you weren't good in the ring, Vincent McMahon didn't want you ruining his company. And so they were trying their best to get rid of Ray Candino, and if I'm not mistaken, he shortly died after that, which was sad also. But then Shawn had Sunny, and he was pretty much serious about Sunny, but he kept asking Sunny, leave. I guess he was still alive before that. He was asking Sunny to leave Ray, and she was typical. Like, they do that all the time, because they're telling you I got a man or I got a boyfriend, but they still letting you screw them, and you're taking the same liberties with her as her boyfriend would. So that could get real confusing, and that's why I'm telling you all this, because of stuff on your chart thus far. So Shawn kind of gave her an ultimatum. I'm serious about you. I want to be with you. What are you going to do? And Sunny still wasn't ready to leave Ray or whatever. So Shawn stopped effing with her and got himself a new girlfriend, which I think he eventually married, if I'm not mistaken. So Sunny, in an interview, Sunny was saying, I don't understand how somebody claims they like me so much or whatever. But but people want to move on with their lives. See, that's how a Gemini think. That's what I'm trying to tell you. A Gemini is not with all that bullshit. But what I'm trying to tell you, from one Gemini ascendant to another, you still have to take responsibility for all that. So that's why I learned. So I wouldn't even go into a situation that's going to seem a little shaky or flaky. Or whatever situation I go into, the person kind of knows what I'm looking for. Because otherwise you're going to get that. And it is kind of painful to dive into a situation and then jump out of it. Like what that other female's doing. She's doing the same thing. Because you want this guy to trust you, but as soon as he doesn't do what you want him to, you're calling up your other guy, and you're riding around with him and kind of probably having sex with him too. So who's going to trust you? And even though that seems to be the thing people do on this planet, that's really not. A lot of people ain't into that. Because if you're doing it now, you're going to do it after we get married. Ain't nothing going to change. So they don't want it. So you got bondage. 15 degrees is the devil card. That's bondage. 0 degrees is the magician card. And he's a fast talker. He'll make you believe stuff that ain't true. And with that 28, 0 degrees, I'm in your first house where it says AC. It says 0 degrees EP, 28. But that's too extreme. And that's like the ego. So now you're seeing it. You're actually seeing the Gemini. See that Gemini and that Uranus or Aquarius energy. Neither Aquarius or Gemini really want to go deep. And what Gemini will do, if Gemini meets somebody that they're thinking about going out with or being a whatever girlfriend, boyfriend, they'll ask a lot of questions. But even a person that's listening, that they're asking those questions, they'll say, "Wow, they asked a lot of questions, but it seemed like they was like screening me." And that's exactly what they were doing. Because what a Gemini is saying is, I don't want to be with this person. It's gonna be a whole bunch of bullshit. And like I just got finished telling you about Shawn Michaels and Sonny. See, Sonny was all with that shit, all the behind the scenes stuff and all cheating on a boyfriend and stuff like that. But she wanted to keep it on that level. And once Shawn saw what she was about, he stopped fucking with her. Because Shawn wanted something a little bit more serious. So your first house, like I said, is kind of bumpy, especially when it comes to relationship. And just look at both these charts. It was a worker that was in a hotel construction accident, I think in New Orleans, but he was from the Honduras, and I think he was an illegal worker, so they deported him back to Honduras. All right, all right. So now you're seeing a little bit of See, this is your first house. Now your first house is ruled by Aries, but again, it's just too much extremity because Aries is another aggressive energy. So this is the person that's kind of like moving way too fast and not really balanced when it comes to relationship. If he really got to know these females, he will find out in some ways more than maybe even more than some ways, but they kind of complement each other. One is more aggressive in some ways, but the other one is more aggressive in like family stuff. Or I shouldn't say family stuff as much as I should say oh, what this one is. This one has it's not family stuff. This one does have a in Gemini. Just give me a minute. Because all these lines, you got to really take your time, because you'll think that line is going to one house, is going to another one. So that's actually the second house. It will chill on that. All right. Now, second house, true north node, that horseshoe means this is why you're here. Whenever you have Cancer in the second house, this person is going to take a motherly, nurturing approach to finances, money, possessions, because that's what the second house is about. Value system. It's also ruled by Taurus. 4 degrees is Aries energy. It's the Emperor card. So Cancer represents the fourth house. But it's teenage to adult education, land, property, and real estate. Family and ancestors. Heart. Person's health. The mother, who's in your subconscious mind, Imon Coeli. But now, the moon rules Cancer. Now look where your moon is. Your moon is in Aries, in the 11th house. And again, that's going to be Aquarius energy. All right. So, like I said, it's a strong Aquarius, Gemini presence. And then you got Aries. And that's just not good. If anything, longevity. So if you're going to work on that, the concept of maturity or making something last long, you have to be aware of that. Because a lot of times you think it's the other person's fault, but it's not. It's kind of yours because you're kind of cutting short. And one thing about Gemini and Mercury, they like to communicate, but not necessarily with a placement like this. Because if they feel, oh, they won't want to talk about it, they won't want to work through it. It just depends. All right. All right. Now the moon, just so you know, the moon is the emotions, and that again, so that's somebody could fly off the handle because it's got Aries, so that's a person could fly off the handle. But if you notice, look, like I told you, is but that blue line pointing right to Sagittarius. So that's a connection you really have to find, and we're gonna try to see it if it's on either one of these charts or both of them. And so when you see your chart like that, even like that 4 degrees is the Emperor, and that's usually a masculine presence, but it could be a strong woman. But in some ways, like in his 11th house, that moon is kind of like representing the mother, and then that 4 degrees in his second house, even though it's next to Cancer, which still represents the mother, because Cancer is the fourth house ruled by the moon, and that represents your mother too. But that could also be the father, or like I said, the mother could have had to play both roles. And as soon as you go to his fourth house, you see Virgo, which is the home. And anytime you have a Moon Virgo connection, that's like a Mother Mary or Isis. It's the same energy. So when you look at his Moon, it's 11 degrees, and that would be either the Strength card, which is Leo energy, which is the woman and the lion, or it's the Justice card, which is Libra energy. And pretty much it's probably the Justice card because you got that connection back to your seventh house. And then the number 12 takes you back to your 12th house. That's Neptune energy, and it's the Hangman card. And see how Neptune takes you right back to Sagittarius. See, and then you see the 25. When you see 25 with Sagittarius, that's universal justice. So this is definitely what I said in the beginning. I know what I'm talking about. That's why people, I see shit, I be dying laughing because people got to be stupid. There's no way I'm going to spend some money to get some reading where a person's only going to lie to me just to get money. And then they're not even going to be telling me shit that's really going to be relative to what I'm going through. But when you so immature or so low level, that's all you want. Just to talk about it or leave a comment. But nothing's really going to change as far as what's really being said. There's a lot of people don't even get your natal chart. Your natal chart is your blueprint for this life. So how are you in this lifetime? Oh, I don't want to get the natal chart, or I don't want him to do it, or I'll get a cheap one, or all this stuff. And mine ain't expensive anyway. But it's just how that mind think. And they go through their whole life wondering why they got all these problems and all this stuff going on in their life, and none of them are mature enough to deal with it. That's why I say I'm a different breed. Like if you really want something to be real, it gotta be real. Just like I said, say you like cars, so you ain't gonna go to no broke down lot. You ain't gonna go to no broke down dealership. You ain't gonna know cars all messed up, different parts in the cars and stuff. You gonna go to the real experts, the real deal. You ain't gonna know fake shit. But they'll do that in a relationship though. You see what I'm saying? They'll do that to another person they claim to love, but they would never do that. Like some people treat their dogs better. Like I be saying, every time you read the news, it's somebody getting raped, some abuse, something like that. And a lot of these are like young. Where their parents at? You know what I'm saying? But I bet they know where the dog is at though. So they take better care of the dog than they do their own kids and shit. So they mad, but like I said, the universe is not playing. So the universe is gonna send people that ain't gonna be afraid to say what it is. Because at some point, if the people don't get a grip, that's when the universe takes over, and that's when you start hearing about all this like what do you call it, acts of God and all that shit. So once again, now it could be one of these charts because we just getting started really. But you see, you got a lot of activity in the seventh house, and the person you're supposed to be with is calling out, even telling you that with the number 25. That's universal law, and you also got to remember we're getting closer to the 25th of December. And that's why that date was picked. Because when you're dealing with the 25th of December, you're dealing with what they used to call the Saturnalia. So you're dealing with Saturn, which is also karmic. And they're trying to tell you this is universal law. And then when you go to your ninth house, look what's there. Aquarius. And once again, Virgo is a Virgo card. And that number 11, again, would be the Justice card, which is Libra. And Virgo is the Hermit. But they're really telling you it's Virgo energy. So they're really telling you about your sixth house. Because she rules the sixth house, Virgo. And then in your sixth house is Scorpio. And that's all about the underworld, death and rebirth. And you keep seeing 23. Now, just so you know, 23 is the number of the Sirius constellation. Because everything on planet Earth is really being taught by the Sirius constellation. Like on planet Earth, they say Mother Mary, but that's Isis. And the Sirius constellation is Isis. And the Orion constellation is Osiris. So Osiris and Isis, or Jesus and Mary, it's the same energy. It's just that over the course of time, we got all these different storylines and all this stuff. The Matrix is set up and the religion and all that, but it's all on that. And our ancestors, the ancients, they knew all this stuff. So I'm writing this down because we got to remember this with the two charts. But it's Aries, Sagittarius, which represents law, and that's higher law. Gemini, Mercury, Libra, which is also law. Aquarius, Uranus, Moon, Aries, The good news is the Sagittarius wants longevity. See, Sagittarius opposes Gemini. Because Gemini just be on some other shit. At the end of the day, Gemini is just immature. So like if you think about a magician, that's somebody that's kind of in the fantasy world. Because here's somebody that spends a whole lot of time making believable what ain't really real. But if you know anything about Thoth and Hermes, that's what they did. Thoth was a master. You know, he loved magic. And Thoth is also connected to Mercury and Gemini. So 23 is a like they're good with communication, things like that. But they're just like Uranus energy because they can come out of nowhere. Now Leo in the third house, see that would be highly because Gemini represents young people, like real young people, but Leo represents young people too. They might be a little bit older than the third house, but it's still kind of like young people, fun. Could be Leo could be a leader, could be very romantic, very talented. So this person is very talented and very creative. But that's what I'm telling you. Like Thoth was the same way. But it's just that it could be a lot of immaturity there. And sometimes they call people like indigo children or stuff. Even though they might be grown adults, but they still call them indigo children or sensitive children or crystal children. So they react in a way they react like children, even though they might be adults. So having Virgo in the fourth house, this is definitely a family home-minded person. But if you notice, it ain't nothing else there. But Virgo rules the sixth house, health, healing, daily activities, possibly your daily job, small children again, co-workers, subordinates, small children, small animals. Now, here's his Leo. Like in his fifth house ruled by Leo. But if you notice, there's Libra. Fifth house is supposed to be the house of fun. Now, when you have Libra there, it could be a legal matter. And like a lot of times, when you see like a Saturn, like in the fifth house and under this setting, it's because Saturn represents karma or karmic debt and past life. Saturn can also mean time delay because if this Leo had an ego in a past life, then now you're going to have karmic debt. You may have delays because you're not going to be allowed to just uh, move everything because of your ego. So now you have to learn like patience, be considerate of other people. That's like the karmic debt. So once again, Pluto, because Libra in the 5th house is basically primarily just having fun. Like, I might be with you, but I don't want it to be that serious. And that's typical of Gemini energy and Aquarius energy. But Libra still wants balance, as crazy as it sounds. And as you can see, they go 28 again. 28 is not going to give you balance. 28 is somewhat extreme. And the number 17 is also a karmic number. All right, just give me a second because this thing acting up. All right. So that tarot card 17 and 17 degrees is the Temperance card. Let me make sure. It's the Star card, which is Aquarius energy. So you keep seeing Aquarius. With that 28, which is too much. And you see it again because Aquarius rules your 11th house. You go to the 11th house, you got the Aquarius right there with Aries. Too much aggression. Aries is like kind of extreme. And you keep seeing a connection between Aries energy and Libra. Aquarius area, Libra energy. And when you see Pluto, that's power, that's transformation. A lot of secrets, could be a lot of cultic stuff. Some form of death and rebirth or breakup and makeup. It rules the 8th house, which can be about shared resources or other people's resources and stuff. Now Saturn is karmic. It gives you the number 44. But that 29 is an anaretic degree. So we're gonna have to look at all that. And that number 44. Number 44. So this person, the number 44 is, it takes longer for the person to mature, because that's what I keep seeing on the chart. And that's the 29. See, that 29 is gonna call, that 29 is anoretic. Like that 29 is like a powerful punch in a fight. But it's gonna take an incident like that to cause the maturity, the 44 to come up. But whenever you see Libra, it could even be a legal issue. And Saturn could definitely represent the law. All right. So anaretic degree is in the fifth house, because the fifth house is ruled by Leo. So they say this is a fortunate degree because of the blessed star Regulus. Regulus is the heart of the lion. And this is the Leo constellation. And that's where Regulus is, the heart of the lion. So they're saying this could be the end of a creative or procreative cycle. And it could indicate or signify that children are grown or gone. But it could also signify the end of a creative cycle as the creative juice takes a new direction. Married love is karmic and usually happy, but it could also mean infertility. But whatever it is, it may be some type of legal situation. And then you also got to do 29 degrees in Libra. You ever said it could be a pressing legal issue is involved. People are required to tie up loose ends, but it could also signify like a divorce. But whatever it is, it'll push you to grow up a little bit. All right. And it's kind of funny because as soon as that happens in 29 degrees, and 29 degrees gets you ready for the next. But then it takes you further into the deep. Because Pluto rules Scorpio. So after that 29 anoretic degree, then now you're taken into the deep in the sixth house. But that is about healing. Like that's what. So when they told you that 44 is about healing, All right, so you got a lot of Pluto energy between your fifth house and sixth house. You got a lot of Pluto energy, and then your vertex cross is 8 degrees, so that's still going to be like the eighth house of the zodiac or Pluto. But the number 8 can mean Libra, especially since your number 11 was meaning Libra. Your number 8 probably means Leo, which is still a strength card, and the number 11 card would be the strength card, Libra energy. Right now, we're gonna try to read Scorpio in the sixth house because this is where it gets mystical. But like I said, this is the old twin flame, twin soul stuff, the eighth house, and you'll have a free report. You should really get familiar with that eighth house because the eighth house is ruled by Scorpio. So your eighth house is really going to be in your sixth house because of Scorpio, and even brushing over to your All right, so now you know there's definitely an ego problem. If you notice, with that 0 degrees, 28, 0 degrees, 28, where Gemini is first house, and I told you that was the ego, the EP ego. And as soon as you go to Leo, which Leo can also mean the ego, you see that 28 again. And you see it's karmic because you got Saturn right there. So there's going to be a relationship that transforms you and the other person. This Pluto is very, when you get into Pluto and Scorpio, you're dealing with a lot of secrets, mysteries, and just by like things I'm saying, Isis and Osiris, 23, Sirius constellation. So these could even have been royal people. And if you think about it, that would make a lot of sense. If you really know this stuff, like if you know metaphysics, because that person immediately took over. Like as soon as I started talking, that person took it. And then when you look at Neptune, Neptune is shaped like a crown. And this is all coming out of your seventh house. And Neptune is a deceiver because that's the person that wants it what they want. Like the person I talked about when I started this. She's a female. And she's real powerful too. She has psychic gifts and stuff too. But she's just so obsessed with that person. And I try to tell people they don't listen. When you direct all of your energy to somebody like that, you're pushing that person away from you. That's the worst mistake you can make. And I'm saying you got to know how to call it, because there are some women that play hard to get, but then you lose the person. So you actually played yourself. So you have to know how to make yourself available, but not so available that the person thinks they can do whatever they want and come back to you whenever they want to, because that's what's happening to her. And then her way of dealing with that is going back to the other guy and stuff like that, because she's done charts like this too, all this three-way stuff. I've done 4 charts with her and all that, but she's obsessed, and you're doing yourself a service. And like I told her, do your calling. She won't do that, but she's psychic too. But a lot of these people with these psychic gifts, they won't trust spirit. They won't trust the universe. And she's one of these people, if anybody else tells her something, she don't hear it, she don't understand it. If the guy, like her twin, says it, then all of a sudden she hears everything. The same stuff that she's bored with, if anybody else says it. If her twin says it, then she's really, oh, he told me this, he told me that. And I'd be looking at her like, we've been talking about that. So it's too much obsession in her case. But you see the same kind of components on this chart that we're looking at right now. Now, your palace in the 6th house is interesting, because palace usually represents the more mature twin soul or twin flame of the two. But even the palace is 3 degrees. And 3 degrees is kind of like an immature or childish energy. Because palace, either way you look at 3 degrees, could be Gemini energy, because it's 3rd house. But 3 degrees is also the Empress card, which is Venus energy. But it's still about like children and stuff, like building stuff up or cultivating. But it wouldn't be like necessarily a mature situation. So let's do that first. Yeah, I'm gonna read this. The 6th house on Virgo. This is the astrology zodiac signs.com. So they're saying that alright, give me a second. So they're saying the 6th house in Scorpio is self-destructive behavior, is the greatest enemy to one's physiology and psychological state. Because that's all that obsession. And Scorpio's like that too. Scorpio is very compulsive, and we'll get into it. Challenges that hide in this position are not at all easy to handle. Because, like I said, I kind of saw it, but I kept it to myself. You got to start thinking more like Egyptian kingdoms and stuff like that. And all kind of stuff was going on. Anybody that knows what I'm talking about, all kind of stuff was going on. Like we'll give you one. Just saying King David. Now Right away, somebody said, well, King David, that was Hebrew and that wasn't Egyptian. But if you study his son Solomon, the Bible even shows you that Solomon had a connection to the throne of Pharaoh. Even in the Song of Solomon, they talk about Solomon's chariot like Pharaoh. So, just because the Europeans told you something, I mean they told you the truth. You got to remember that. And Egypt has always been connected with these so-called Hebrews. Because when Jesus was born in Matthew chapter 2, I called my son out of Egypt. Then in Revelation chapter 11, Jesus is still being connected to Egypt. In Jerusalem, and Egypt, where our Lord was crucified. It says something like in Sodom and Egypt, where our Lord was crucified. But it was a whole lot of weird stuff going on in Sodom as well. And you got to remember that after they escaped Sodom and Gomorrah with the help of the angels, then the daughters slept with the father, got them all drunk, and slept with them because they said, well, we want to have children, and now we're not going to have children because our husbands were destroyed in Sodom, so they slept with their own father. But weird shit like that was going on all the time. That's where they got that idea from, with Sodom. Because this is what you're starting to see. This is compulsive. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going on in this life, but it's the implication that it did go on in previous life is right there. And also, when you see those two charts, like, those two could be sisters. And they might not know it. Like in the past life, they could have been sisters. But those charts are very, very similar. So you have a lot going on. You got karmic law, past life law, universal law, karmic depths. And we still haven't solved the mystery of Sagittarius energy yet. So when you see Scorpio in the sixth house, can also deal with scandal. So it says challenges that hide in this position are not at all easy to handle. For their core rest in emotional dissatisfaction, forgiveness, and change. And that's why you keep seeing Pluto and all that. There is denial. If there is denial, dismissal, and resistance toward change, Scorpio will not make one happy, and a lot of anger will accumulate there. So again, his home going to be off the hook, and that's why when you looked in his fourth house, you didn't really see too much. This is a place of prejudice and the breaking of sexual taboos. See my point? Sexual taboos. Often speaking of the importance of sex in a person's life. Not only will it speak of repression. See, because remember, when you're dealing with the 8th house, Scorpio rules the 8th house. And you're dealing with the 12th house. You're dealing with secret, subconscious stuff going on. Past life stuff going on. But also unused nuclear energy located beneath our feet. Wow, he just came out of nowhere with that. Not only will it speak of repression, but also of unused nuclear energy located beneath our feet. Now, if you're going to talk about the feet, you're talking about Pisces or the 12th house, because that's the part of your body is the feet. And that archangel is Sandalphon, giving particularly a special essence and sometimes leading to obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, remember, the Bible Hebrews are described in the Bible as God's feet. That's why Jesus washed Peter's feet. And there is a connection between the Bible Hebrews and Egyptians. Energy located beneath our feet, giving practically a special essence, and sometimes leading to obsessive compulsive disorders and in general obsessive behavior. Once deepest emotions are accepted, a Scorpio set 6th house becomes a pool of endless energy, and everything gains sense and becomes as easy as a breeze. So that's why Jupiter's up in there. Remember, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Well, it's a lot going on. A lot's being said. Because remember, there's a Jupiter-Juno connection throughout mythology. And both Jupiter and Saturn can imply father. So you got, I was going to say, you got 23 degrees with Jupiter. Then you got the number 23 at 23 minutes. You got a 4 degrees, 23 minutes. Because when Jupiter first entered Scorpio a few years ago, I think it was 27, that's when all them people started getting busted. And most of those people were getting busted for, like, these were older men that were having sex with all these women and young, when they were young. Even like they were young actresses or whatever. They were having sex, like Weinstein. And then Russell Simmons got called out for something he did, like I guess in the 80s or whatever. He slept with some underage girl or something. But all that stuff started coming out then. And that's when R. Kelly got revisited. And then they was talking about Jay-Z and Aaliyah. They was bringing that out. And they talking about Dame Dash and Jay-Z and Aaliyah. But all that came out when Jupiter entered Scorpio. Because when Palace is, like a Palace is usually the more mature one, but they hit it with 3 degrees. Kind of like I'm telling you, like when they were trying to find stuff out on Michael Jackson, they showed you a store that Michael went into with that young white boy, and the store was closed, but they purposely left it open for Michael to go through. So you see him walking through the store with the white boy, he's holding his hand and stuff, and look like they're exchanging a conversation and shit like that. And people thought that was a little weird. And that was right after all them accusations first came, and that's why they did that. So that's kind of like an adult. Palace at 3 degrees, because Palace is your soulmate or twin soul, twin flame, but it's usually the more mature one, but not at 3 degrees. But if you really know a lot of these religions, they did that. Like if you know anything about Marduk, he was said to have had a relationship with his mother, and a lot of those religions were like that. They looked at to the young one, or they looked at to the young one, or the young kid or young male, or whatever the case was. Jupiter is also a belief system. It could be finances and fortune as well. So let me look around a little bit more. This is astrologyclub.org. Scorpio in the sixth house. Emotional and or spiritual intensity and depth. But it's also about power and control struggles. So this person likes to go deep with everything and every detail, and that's what he wrote. He said, "Oh, I studied because I'm not used to people talking like that." But he's like really been looking into it. So just like the Egyptians, this person is going to find a deeper meaning in everything. But the Bible is the same way. So that's why I said the whole connection of the Bible to Egypt, to Freemasonry, to the secrets, the mystery schools. So this person might be obsessed with details. So I'm going to tell you again. Sometimes, like Jesus said, you strain a gnat and gulp down a camel. Because you have people that get so intense on what they want to believe, what they think, or what they just looking at that. But the big shit that they should be looking at. You don't like one time somebody contacted me and he was an Aquarius, and Leos and Aquarius don't necessarily get along because Aquarius they wanna say like they say I know, that's their motto, I know, but they really don't. So what Aquarius does, it'll take on a subject that's real deep, and they won't put the work in, they won't put the hours of study in, they won't actually go through it, but they'll use a couple of words and then act like they know, or like I understand, or I understand, or I overstand, but they really don't know what that shit means. So this dude was just getting on my nerves, like unbelievably. It was just getting on my nerves because I just hate that phony shit. Just if you don't know, say you don't know. Stop acting like you know when you don't know. And when people really put that work in, they take offense because these people, especially with YouTube, these people come out here acting like they know shit and they don't know. And then everybody listening to that garbage when it's not even based on shit except this person talking. So you take offense to it. So anyway, he was telling me all, and he wouldn't do one thing because he just was a nut job. But he just kept trying to act like he knew and didn't know. So I started telling him. And he didn't particularly like it, but stop acting like you know if you don't know. And so coming through all that, he talking about he knowing all that. The chart he wanted me to do was for like an underage female. Now you have to be real careful with stuff like that because I understand soulmates because your soulmate can be younger than you. Your soulmate could be a big age difference. And I hate to tell you this, but in a past life it might actually be a family member. Because whenever you got this stuff going on in the 6th house and the 4th house and Scorpios popping up with the 8th house and all that, it actually could be a family member. But what people have to understand is this: when, especially nowadays, when you get to a court of law, they're not going to hear that shit. They're not going to want to hear that metaphysical shit. Oh, Your Honor, it's okay because in a past life, she and I were lovers. We were husband and wife. So it's okay that we're reuniting in this life. And I know I checked it out with a psychic. That judge ain't trying to hear none of that. Your ass going to jail. It's going to be pedophile. You in jail. That's their answer for it. And in all fairness, you can't be mad at them because they don't understand all that metaphysical shit and stuff like that. So sometimes you strain down a gnat but gulp down a camel. And you miss the bigger picture because you're too detail oriented on stuff that may seem like it matter to you, but in the bigger scale of things, it don't. It's not really. It doesn't matter. So they say you can drive others crazy with your meticulous nature. See, I've been on the planet for a minute. I've learned all this, and like I said, I already know that. Especially with stuff, it's a lot of stuff going on up in space right now, and you get whole lot of stuff. And I'm gonna say it again. Yesterday, somebody contacted me, and I done heard this shit over and over before. So I let them know how it would go down because everything I'm doing is from experience. Certain things you don't do and certain things you do. And even that one female that was talking to me, I keep talking about, she had the same situation because, like I said, she's psychic too. So she does have a client here or there. She's just starting. And she had a situation with her client too, but she has to learn the ropes. It's do's and don'ts to everything. So this person came out like that, and I like me, every second counts. So I don't like wasting time. Not a half second on this and that. Because every second counts. Because if you ever watch a basketball game, somebody was about to lose, and it was that one 3-pointer, tied it up, and they go in overtime and win. So if they wasn't playing like they should have been playing, that 3-pointer would have never been made, and they would have lost. And they go into the championship and win. And I'm telling you, the same thing. Like you see Jupiter in your house, that's a big thing. Because Jupiter's a blessing and expansion. So that 1 second of a wrong move could fuck all that up. Just one half a second. So everything does matter. People say, oh, it don't matter. Yes, it do matter. So we got to know what's up. So when you contacted me, you trying to play me out like you know what's up, and I make sure everybody know what's up. So when you contacted me and you trying to play me out, but you think I'm stupid or something, and then you trying all these different ways to get my attention, you're not gonna get my attention. I deal with what's up. I don't deal with none of this silly shit. Grown ass man. So what's up? So then you playing. Well, it's bull. So then I make sure you know what's up. So then you contact me again with more bull. Then I tell you what's up. I'm not making no decisions for you. You know what I'm talking about? So this person is just trying to edge me in on some bullshit, on some groupie shit. But they wasting my fucking time. Ain't no groupie shit. Ain't no communicate. What's up? Bottom line. So I tell them again. Boom, boom, boom. They contact me again. Still talking about some stupid shit. Like they trying to get some type of connection or hookup. Nigga, I never came out here for no love channel. This my channel don't say looking for love. Holla. I'm a Leo and I'm single. My name is Marv. I never said this is float on. You know what the fuck you talking about? It's busy. This is holiday season. I got family. I got all the kind of shit I'm doing. What are you talking about? So once I seen this was a groupie, just playing around trying to make some stupid, crazy ass connection. And I keep in mind I've been doing, and I've been in media my whole life basically. Even when I was little, I was on the CB radio, and everybody knew me. I was real popular. It is what it is. So I shut that down immediately and let that person know. All right, you don't contacted me more in the last 90 minutes than most people do through this whole process, and you still ain't saying nothing. Boom, boom, boom. Based on what you saying and doing and past experiences, you lost any other privileges. I want nothing to do with you. Keep it moving. Time to meet Mr. Block. And if I hear from you again, your shit gonna be going to somebody higher to deal with your stalking ass. So that Scorpio can be stalking and stuff like that. You got to make sure you stalking somebody that don't mind the stalking and shit like that. Because you can't just stalk somebody who don't even really got nothing to do with you. So that's what I mean about that psychological makeup and emotions. And this is all water signs and crazy shit. And remember, Mars used to rule Aries. Mars used to rule Scorpio and Aries. So this is extreme, impactful shit that's going on through lifetimes. So they say it's going to be a person like generally likes to keep stuff to themselves. And they're very into control. But then you got to applaud this person because he was wise enough to hey, let me get a second pair of eyes over here. Because they're implying this person really don't want you to know shit. They don't want nobody to know. And they say this person really worries about what other people think. But that's why I said, but you're in a place for scandal. When you got Scorpio in the 6th house, it's probably going to be some type of scandal. And where's your Neptune? Yep. Is it the 6th house? Well, it's the 7th house. Because Neptune can also mean sometimes like the media, the news, and stuff like that. But either way, it's Neptune going to be spiritual. It's still going to be public. But they keep saying healing, though. So they're saying if you got Scorpio in the 6th house, you got to be very concerned with health programs, community health propaganda on a public level, alerting people to health concerns. But on your particular chart, that could be true too, but it could also be health concerns because of what I said, the taboo stuff going on, health hazards. And that's what they said, health hazards. See, because this is some stuff going on that, and I'm trying to say it in such a way, but this is like past life stuff. This could be some type of dynasty stuff going on. And that's why I said if you know about Egyptian dynasties, that's how it was. And plus, I'm not saying every dynasty did it, but there were a lot of ancient dynasties and Egyptian dynasties that bred in the family because they wanted to keep their bloodline pure. But again, you couldn't say that to a judge. Oh no, Your Honor, everything that happened is supposed to happen because we're ancient Egyptians, and boom, 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 we have to keep our bloodline pure. And then he's gonna say these people are wacko, they're crazy, and your ass is going to jail. And I'm gonna make sure that you get a restraining order. And that's why I try to tell people with all this past life stuff you just got to know because it is a fact. You could be a teacher in a classroom and you feel it immediately with one of them students, and y'all both can feel it and y'all both know. Plus, if it's really a twin flame relationship, twin soul relationship, y'all dreaming about each other and shit, and the universe is gonna make sure y'all get set up to be alone, and that's where shit pop off. Because that's why when somebody been a teacher for so long and then they run away with like a 50-year-old man run away with a 15-year-old girl. But then you gotta ask, has this ever happened before? And if it did happen before, then maybe he's a pedophile, maybe. But if it never happened before, well, what was so different about this 15-year-old than any other female that's been in this classroom? And this guy just risked it all, and now he'd be going to jail for a long ass time. So they say Scorpio can be a very good nurse, but again, your fifth house and your sixth house is about healing. But they say, but she's a colder type, not allowing the individual or the patient to wallow in self-pity or feel sorry for himself. Scorpio will try to snap the person out of feeling down, make them face the reality of the situation and to be more positive. And you got Jupiter there, because that's what they were saying earlier. It's almost like saying when these people accept this reality, as far as health wise and stuff, it may be better, and maybe the universe will bless them too. But what I'm telling you is taboo in this universe. And if you ever find yourself before a judge, he ain't talking about ancient Egypt and all that purifying the blood. He talking about, this is crazy. We got to do something. We got to make an example out of you because there's too much of this going on. So with Scorpio in the sixth house, you do have to develop more warmth and consideration. In other words, like somebody might say, okay, you need to just accept that. Life is not going to be a bowl of cherry. You got to learn to toughen up and keep it moving. But they're saying that if you're that type of person in the sixth house with Scorpio in the sixth house, that you have to learn how to you could give the same advisory, but it has to be with more warmth, understanding, and consideration of the patient. So Scorpio in the sixth house may be a promoter in the latest techniques of holistic healing, psychic healing, psychic surgery. Because like I said, if you knew the ancient bloodlines of Egypt and stuff like that, and Egypt has a direct connection to Sirius, which is Isis, or Sorion, Osiris, which is Orion. But they were all psychic, and not only were they psychic, they were great mathematicians, great engineers. And that's why when you deal with Egypt, you're dealing with interdimensional dynasties and technology and stuff like that. So he's saying that too. Mars used to rule Scorpio, and this was your doctors, as I just said, sharp instruments, surgeries. The health aspect here should be taken into consideration by anyone who has Scorpio in the crust of the sixth house. So I'm saying between these people in the sixth house, whoever they may be, this person definitely, but whoever may be in that sixth house, there may be some type of health concerns, either personal health concerns or health issues because of the union. And again, you can't get past the word taboo. So there's going to be good intuition here because psychics are real good with intuition. They can know things they shouldn't know. Psychic quality of Scorpio. This person may be a psychic healer. May be very accurate at any type of diagnostic work when it comes to a problem, whether it's a health problem or a community activity. So again, this is sexual healing and stuff as well. So they're saying that Scorpio might be a counselor or a guidance director, but they may not enjoy that. And they would be a good family counselor. However, this is the conflict because the Scorpion does not want to hear about anybody else's problem. And it's funny they said that because that's how Gemini just want to keep it brief. Like if Gemini says, "How are you doing?" and you start to go, "Oh, I'm okay," but really he don't want to hear all that. He don't want to know about your father. He don't want to hear. He don't want all that. Gemini just want to go. He wants you to go, "Oh, I'm okay." So you go, "Okay," and go to the next whatever. But they said Scorpio's like that. But I'm gonna disagree with that one because Scorpio will go deep. Scorpio like taking the knowledge. Like Scorpio want to know all your business, but they're not gonna want to tell you their business and shit. But they want to know all your business. All right, and this is Astro Codex, which is one of my favorite ones. theastrocodex.com, and this is gonna be Jupiter and Scorpio. Because I think with this one you're gonna learn a lot. And remember, any type of twin soul, twin flame relationship is past life, and this is somebody you've had many past lives with. And how this really works, it's all going concurrently. Like because really, if you're from Source, see this is how it works. Source is spirit, omnipresent, omnipotent. When Source wants to come into the physical world, it has to create a soul. Now that's the soul. That's like a pizza pie. Now to come into the physical world, 7 of those slices of that pie come down. That's your soul family, soul mates, just like shipmates, your soul tribe. They all come down. But that last final piece, piece number 8, gets sliced in half. That is your twin soul, twin flame. Same thing. And then that comes down. And whatever the reason might be, you'll meet that person at some point and stuff like that. Whether y'all two get along or get together. But you'll already kind of know. Just like if you ever been somewhere and a female might be staring at you. And you're like, why this female staring at me and shit? And I think she like me or whatever. But then she don't never really open up to you, or she don't really, she don't even like you. Or she'll flip it and make it seem like you stalking her or looking at her. But she never comes. It never comes because just because you around the same area, you're twin, you could tell something's up, but it won't be like, oh, this is somebody I meet. But like I said, by the time my twin came in my life, I was through. I was through with all that shit. I couldn't do it no more. I was trying to do other shit with my life, and I get all caught up in that shit because there's always drama, always some bullshit. I was just through with it. So by the time she came, it was, and then she was about the game plan, all that mind fuckery and all that silly shit. Same thing I already knew. But like on this planet, it's a real low vibration, and it's almost like people on this planet want it. Like people on this planet, they want the drama. They want it. Like they'll warn you about heaven, but they focus on hell. Even in the church, you go in the church and you see the most worst debaucheries. So you would think in the church it would be less, but in some ways in the church it's even worse. So this is a low vibrational planet. And then on my other channel where I deal with all this stuff, I tell you all about old school Mechalesi, not the one that has been missing for 8 months on her other channel, but she's on her old stuff from 2011, 2012. She was hitting everything on point. And she talks about she doesn't call it a matrix, she calls it a quarantine. At least she did in 2011 and 2012. So you have to know all that to know where you're at to get a grip. And if anything, you'll become a lot wiser. Because Scorpio's not stupid, but Scorpio will get caught up because Scorpio will try to live the past life that Scorpio is connected to in this life, and that's how you get in trouble. And that's why I told you, as soon as Jupiter entered Scorpio, I think it was 2017 or something, everybody started getting busted, exposed, going to jail, and even Cosby after that. Everybody got it. Everybody got it. So right away they say Jupiter and Scorpio, you're going to have occult abilities. All right, now this is why I'm probably one of the best in the world that does this. Now we're going to get a little bit more realer with it. Because I always add application to this. This is all about the home, the family. 6th house is home, 4th house is family. Cancer is always going to be the mother. But now two things. So you got a Saturn presence and a Jupiter presence. But here's the deal. Jupiter is like the god of the universe, the father. But Saturn is more like the father of planet Earth. In fact, some people say that Saturn used to be the son of this planet we on. And Saturn has a real unique connection with Venus. But somehow RFG explained it a while ago. But somehow the sun was moved in, and so was the moon was moved in. But they weren't always here, according to, and RFG explains it. And that does make sense because the Egyptians always had a connection to the sun and moon. So these were like master scientists or angels, whatever you want to call them, and they were really manipulating this universe. And you can learn a little bit more about it in the book of Enoch. But that's why I say you always got to take notes with stuff like this so you know what's going on. For people to really want to know. Because most people on a low vibration, all they want to know is, oh, where's my love and all that. But unfortunately, it's way more to this planet than just you and your love. And that's why most of these people stay frustrated one way or another, or they're sleeping all around with whoever. Because they don't have any stability. Or integrity or any shit like that. Plus, even if they had integrity, it's still going to be difficult because this is deeper than just one dimension. This is past lives. This is stuff going on concurrently. There are parallel universes and all kind of stuff like that. And a lot of stuff you hear that you may think is fake, ain't fake. It is people that can astral plane and do all kind of shit. All that shit is real. But if you don't really want to get involved with it, then you think it's some fake phony shit or you don't believe it. Now, so when you're dealing with these people, especially family relatives, these are people you've known before, and some people they've killed each other in past lives, and now you're in this life, and that person's in your family, sister, or moms, or some shit like that, and you can see it. Like if you were ever to wake up, or if you were ever to stop just thinking on a low level vibration, because you can see all kind of weird shit happening, all kind of supernatural shit happening, just weird ass shit happening. Even the more you wake up, the more you're gonna realize there's some weird ass shit. And you can see connections, like even some of the bugs that was known in Egypt, they'll have them in their house and shit, stuff like that, just all kind of weird shit. And a lot of times shit be like peaceful until these people come. And the moment they come, stuff start breaking down or stuff start going crazy, or all kind of crazy shit. But all that energy is connected to these people because of who they are and past lives and stuff like that. Like if you were to study the Lincoln administration and the John F. Kennedy administration, and you could do that online for free. And the weird things, and they both have one thing in common. They both did something towards these melanated people, and these melanated people are the real chosen people. And everything that's going on right now has to directly deal with them for a lot of prophecies and stuff like that. So that's why I got other channels where I talk about that stuff, because that's the real stuff. This other stuff, she love me not, that's some low level stuff. If it works out for you, good for you. But a lot of times that shit don't work out for it, and because of the reasons I'm saying, and it's always some type of like I said, taboo or some weird. She gotta be sleeping around with 3 or 4 different people, who the baby daddy and all that. But that's the reason why. And you should also get to know your 8th house. Just like with twin flames. A lot of people, they don't understand twin flames. They keep thinking it's a love story. But like that man says, I don't know how many of you guys see it on YouTube, but when you go on YouTube, they always give you commercials, and that one guy's always talking like, oh, you know, blah, 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 that's a bunch of bullshit, and listen to me, and all that. And you got the bald-headed guy. He's a black guy. He says he looks like a Dr. Xavier, that black guy with the bald head. And he says, oh, you know, people, they could have the law of attraction, but they're coming for it at the wrong thing. Like he's talking about, they come at lower vibrations, lower frequency, ego, and selfishness. So he's saying you're never gonna enjoy the law of attraction because you're coming at it the wrong way. And that's what I'm trying to tell you about the whole twin flame. It's never really gonna work for you if you come at it from a selfish level. The twin flame thing is totally unselfish. This is unconditional love. This is higher than third dimension. That's why you're not connecting with your twin, because one of y'all or both y'all on some low level or third dimension or some lower vibration, it ain't never gonna work. And then if you're not careful, y'all both be messed up. See, when I met my twin, I was already, just spiritually speaking, I was already at a higher vibration just from being a spiritual person. It wasn't even about metaphysics when I met her, because in fact I didn't even know what a twin flame was when I met her. But through her studying, trying to learn what was going on with her, that's how I learned more and more about metaphysics. So me being a higher vibration, I just let the universe take it, because if it's meant to be, who could stop it? But I'm not going back through all that bullshit I've already been through, all that silly stuff people do to each other in relationships. So she could either wake up and get a little bit closer to 5th, and we could talk, or she gotta do what she gotta do. But I wasn't going back through all that foolishness. And unfortunately, when you're dealing with Scorpio energy, there is a lot of power struggles. Could be deception, because they are mysterious. It could be highly sexual, it's mysterious. But you have to learn your 8th house. You got a free report through here. You have to learn everything in your 8th house, because you're going to be seeing that in your 6th house. That's debt, taxes, IRS, shared resources, other people's money, other people's resources, all that supernatural stuff, past lives, other worlds, other dimensions, all that can be going on. So I see it all the time. Like I said, with the people I'm around, you see it all the time. But you could tell that these people have the energy or the vibrations of, the ancients. You can see it. And one thing about it is it's a lot of drama at all times. Like it's unbelievable drama all the time. Like you take somebody like Tupac, all he went through, and that's how it's like that drama. And that's why they even call him. There's a video out here called from Naga talking about the Naga gods, the Naga god serpent gods. It says from Naga to nigga. So that's free on YouTube as well. You should watch that video, because you can get a better understanding of how these people represent the gods and all that. But they came all the way down, and that's why your Bible be talking about Lucifer and stars being cast down to earth. It's talking about these people, and people act like it's not real, but it's becoming more realer and realer every day. They don't really realize how real it's becoming. Think about one thing before I move on. Why all of a sudden, at the end of the 400-year prophecy of Genesis chapter 15, verse 10 to 15, why all of a sudden, at the end of the 400-year prophecy from 1619, when they became slaves, to 2019, why all of a sudden now is Putin moving into Africa and bringing nuclear warheads? And if you were listening, I just said the word nuclear when I was talking about your 6th house. So even your natal chart is in perfect harmony with the universe. Out of all the times to move into Africa with nuclear warheads, why now? Directly at the end of the 400-year prophecy from 1619 to 2019. So this is happening, whether people believe it or not. And that's why I said you can stay at a low vibration if you want to, but all you're going to get is a lot of frustration. You might get a little bit of sex, but you better hope it ain't that taboo sex, because then they might lock your ass up. You may get a little bit of sex, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be a lot of frustration. The wiser people are at higher vibrations, and they're tapping more into why you're really here in the universe. And this is why when you read your Bible, Jesus was always telling people, don't get so caught up in this world. And he was always telling them everything is higher. And higher when they talk about ascension and all that, that's what they're talking about. Everything is higher. Because these things that was cast down, these things that was brought down, they got to go back up. And that's the ladder of Jacob. Jacob's ladder that you see it again. You see it in the book of Genesis. When he had to fight the angel, Jacob had to fight the angel, Israel had to fight the angel. And then you see the Jacob's ladder again with Jesus at John chapter 1. He said, you're going to see the Son of Man, angels ascending and descending. So that ascension is about to go back up. And if you knew your Bibles, you know when he said when he comes again, he's coming with the clouds. Well, those clouds are metaphors, Bible metaphors for these chosen people. The real ones. Not the ones that say they're the chosen people, but are not. Revelation chapter 2, verse 9, Revelation 3, verse 9. So that's the reality. But you can get caught up in bubblegum love stories and that if you want to. But like I said, that bubblegum gonna pop in your face. This is real. And the reason why these people are so frustrated with these twin flames stuff because they're going at it the wrong way. The way I see it is whatever happened, whatever's meant to be is going to be. And if something was really real, like I'm a Leo, we do everything from the heart. So I'm not down with no fake relationships and all that. So if it's meant to be, who could stop it? If it's a universal mandate that you and his people meet, who could stop it? That's why you see all these Sagittarius on your chart and 25s. Those are universal laws. The 9th house ruled by Sagittarius is the highest house. That's your higher self. So now let's do it. Jupiter. All right. I just got to find this. Give me a second. So they let you know Jupiter in the 6th house, or I take that back, Jupiter in Scorpio, which is still your 6th house, but Jupiter in Scorpio. Jupiter is going to magnify other realms because Scorpio is connected to other realms. And like I said, I see it with my relatives. I see it all the time. So Jupiter is also going to awake all types of deep and intense feelings, but also the native sexuality. And I'm going to say it again. Now remember, this is in the home. Because you might find yourself in a step family situation, or you might find yourself in an actual situation, but they're telling you straight up it's going to be some type of taboo. And I'm going to tell you again, when a teacher does find himself in that situation, especially if they've never found themselves in that situation before, that's because it's the frequency, the feeling, the dreams, all this is these realms I'm talking about. And they can see it, like why out of all people, you know? Because if you see it, if you're a teacher, and I'm not justifying shit, I'm telling you how this goes down. You can take it any way you want to. But if you're a teacher and you're in your class, and I'm talking about for teachers that never did nothing like this ever before, but all of a sudden you got some type of feeling with this person, and you see their eyes are on you all the time, and it's just crazy, and both of y'all know it, and somehow you two are always connected some type of strange way, and then it could be something going on with school, a volunteer cleanup or some shit like that, and then you and that same individual end up in the same room at the same time, and y'all both know what's up. Or it might be something you're going to get in the closet, and you go to pull out the closet, and that person's also in the closet looking for something. So shit pop off. And for a while, it seemed like everything's great, the feeling's great, everything feels great, because you forget. Because this is a past situation that's happened before. You forget. You forget law, you forget modern law, you forget all that shit, and usually somebody exposes you. Usually. Somebody else finds out and tells or some shit like that. And then the whole world knows, wow, this so-and-so teacher, blah, 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 sleeping around with this kid, blah. And then they're wondering, has this happened before? And you know, your reputation is, and you just heard me read that this is going to be public and be, you know, scandal. Because anytime Scorpio's in the 6th house, it's going to be some type of scandal, and it has to do with the home and shit. So they also told you about handling other people's money, and I already told you that's Scorpio, rules the 8th house, and it could have things to do with the finances. And remember, Virgo or the 6th house does deal with your finances too. People forget that. So again, a person will be very secretive if they're Jupiter and Scorpio. And they say this type of person might have a lot of information about themselves classified. But they will be interested in gathering information. So Scorpio is known for surveillances and getting somebody else's information and all that. So Scorpio with Jupiter will try to obtain whatever this person wants in moral ways or shadier ways. They could care less. And remember, you deal with detectives in the 8th house. The 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, so they may hire a detective if necessary, or they might just right now you can get all that shit on YouTube, right on not on YouTube, right online. You can find a whole lot of shit in a matter of minutes. So both Jupiter and Saturn are considered social planets, but I already told you that both of these are considered fathers. And they just said that Saturn is directly opposite Jupiter. Whatever they meant by that's the first time I've heard that. Then they talk about the personal planets, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars will affect the character of each individual. Social planets are giving trends that encircle the whole society. But they already told you that a lot of stuff is going to get found out in the society, even though it started off in the quietness. But you see this in the Bible all the time. Because the universe will give you like David and Bathsheba. The universe will give you the circumstances where you can get involved with the taboo. But then the same universe is going to expose your ass. So the personable planets are performing a quick passage through the signs, which usually lasts a couple of months maximum. Yet the social planet will need a year or more to pass through a sign. This way they grant similar characteristics to all the people being born during that period. Jupiter needs a whole year to travel through a sign of the zodiac, while its counterpart, Saturn, needs around 2.5 years. This blend defines a yearly generation, which is rather visible through the first year of a native's life. And remember, Pluto is the planet of black people, according to myastrologybook.com, and Pluto rules Scorpio. You see Scorpio in Revelation chapter 9. It talks about the bottomless pit. That's the 8th house of the zodiac. And also you see the word scorpion right there. So you know they're talking about the same thing I am. And your Bible is a big astrological book. That's why somebody telling you, oh, astrology is wrong, they're lying to you. They just don't want you to return to your power. Because they couldn't find a Messiah without a star. So how come the Messiah has a star, but you don't? So this is why you have to wake up. Or like I said, you can stay dumbed down, but it doesn't matter because anybody that wants to stay dumbed down is going to be run over top of because you're not standing with the universe. And this is why even our FG chart tried to tell you, if you're not standing with the universe, when the universe starts to make changes, you won't be a part of those changes. So you can stay dumbed down because some Europeans lied to you about your history and the matrix they put you in and all that stuff, but that's about to be out of here. That's about to be out of here. Once again, why is Putin in Africa with nuclear warheads right at the end of the 400-year prophecy of Genesis 15:10-13? That's what you should be talking about. So this blend defines a yearly generation, which is rather visible during the first year of a native's life, especially into the first Jupiter return in its 12th life. And see, that's why they were talking about Jesus when he was 12 years old. Just like if you read Book of Job, chapter 1 and 2, that's a Pluto retrograde. Because Pluto retrograde comes out of nowhere and takes everything. And that's what happened. Now they're letting you know Jesus' 12th year, they're talking about the Jupiter return. So during the childhood years, the placement of Jupiter indeed places a role of connecting children of the same age. And remember, the sixth house is about small children. That's why we don't heard Gemini, small children. The sixth house, small children. And there's another one, Leo, in the third house, small children. So you can't get past it. So during the childhood years, Jupiter is going to connect this child to other children of the same age. And then remember, what did the Bible give you? Jesus and his cousin, John the Baptist. All around the same age. Because if you said to one little boy, how old are you? I'm 12. You say to another little boy, how old are you? I'm 12. You don't stop and go, by how many months? How many months? Oh, 6 months. It doesn't matter. You don't say no stupid shit like that. You both go 12. Oh, they both 12. So they say it's a lot of fun and joy because they said, though, under this taboo connection in the sixth house and probably the fifth house too, but it's going to bring some type of healing, say maybe even fun and joy. And that's why these people be bugging out because they've never felt nothing like that or whatever the case might be. And they don't understand what it is, but they know that feeling is just something. So they say this is the reason that children subconsciously search mostly game partners of the same age and they have the same wavelength, considering playing and humor. Well, because they're soul tribes. That's why. That's the real reason why. This is all about soul tribes. And again, like I told you, myastrologybook.com tells you that Pluto is the planet of the melanated people, the black people, and Pluto rules Scorpio. And I just told you, read Revelation chapter 9, talking about the dark cloud, black cloud. And if you read Genesis chapter 15, verse 10 to 15, about the 400-year prophecy, or if you just read Genesis chapter 15, it's also talking about dark clouds and black clouds and all that. It's the same people, the same prophecy. And when he says he's coming in the clouds in Matthew 25, verse 28 to 46, he's talking about those people. Those are the people of clouds that you also see in the book of Hebrews. That's why it's in the book of Hebrews. These were melanated people, the real people of God. And he's also talking about the clouds of witnesses. So this is what's about to really happen. So that's where people's mindset should be. Not that that other stuff ain't important, but I'm saying you're so caught up on the lovey-dovey stuff that ain't going to happen anyway, that you're going to miss out on this that is going to happen. But like I said, if it was really love, why are they sleeping around with so many different people? So you can't say, oh, I love my twin, I really want to be with my twin, when you're sleeping around with your soulmate or whoever else or whatever else. That's a bunch of garbage. Because if you really had love, you'd be going through the process. And most of these people won't even study what a real twin flame relationship is. And all that information is free right here on YouTube. And everybody that gets a free report, that information is on there. And once you find a little information, you know how to research to find even deeper information if you want it. But they don't care. After the first Jupiter return, which was, like they said, around 12 years old, Saturn becomes more activated and brings the teens, especially when he is opposing natal Saturn around the age of 14. So now you're learning that both Saturn and Jupiter have an effect, and I just told you what they really are. So it might be a two-father situation related to this man's chart, and it could include those two other charts. Who knows? So around 14, the joy of childhood is evaporating. Father time is making the child grow, bringing the first adult problems, pressures, and turbulence. Of course, all these steps are a natural process of evolution, preparing the native for his long path through life. So this is the first time you've ever heard how both planet Saturn and planet Pluto play that role in a person's life, their teenage years into adulthood. So the placement of Jupiter in the signs is important, a lot less than its placement in the houses. And that's why I said Jupiter in Scorpio. I went Jupiter into the sign. I did not go Jupiter into the sixth house. And you have to understand, according to your Bible, right at that Jupiter return, 12 years old, that's when Jesus basically stood up to his parents. She said, oh, basically she said to him, you should have been with your family. You knew we were leaving. You should have been with your family. Why are you sitting here with these men, all these men of the laws of Moses? Why are you sitting here with them speaking and asking questions and trying to debate? Like she was telling Jesus, you're just a little boy. Why are you here? And then he looked at her and said, don't you know I'll be in the house of my father? Don't you know I'll be about my father's business? So that's that power that Jupiter returned at 12 years old. And again, he was standing as their God by saying that. So he's saying Jupiter in the chart could be a social phenomenon that develops social trends. But I'm telling you, I already told you what it is. Like whatever happens whatever in the secret, the taboo shit is going to become public. And no matter how you think you're going to stop it, you're not going to be able to stop it. Because most people, when they do stuff like that, in their mind, they think they're not going to get caught. And the heart start deceiving you. And when you're dealing with people like a teacher, like if you just are lonely or you do go on dates with people your age or closer to your age, but there's no fulfillment, no feeling, no nada, then something like this happens and you feel this feeling and it just feels so right and all that, your heart's going to deceive you and you're going to think you're going to get away with it. You're not going to get away with it. It's going to get exposed. And but all of this is the universe. That's why I said, to do like me, I've been here long enough to tell you that. There's nothing accidental or coincidental. You can forget that. And when Nas says it is written, it is written. And when you realize that, if you really realize that, when you're put in these situations, you'll react differently. Because you realize, you could lose it all, bro. Like you can see Capricorn in your 8th house. Capricorn represents your career and your reputation, the 10th house. It's all connected. And so why is this happening? I don't know, bro. I don't know why it's happening, but I know it's real. right, I'm just reading on. So Jupiter transited Scorpio. Well, I know they were talking about it. Yeah, October 2018 to November. No, October 2017 to November 2018. Next time they're claiming will be September 2029 to October 2030. And it's kind of funny because some people said 2030 will be the year that the melanated people are fully free, which that's like 10 years from now. So Jupiter will help this person expand, develop, and grow on physical and spiritual levels. But remember, I told you Jupiter is your belief system, and that's why Sagittarius is so strong on your chart, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. As the natural ruler of Sagittarius, which you have in your 7th house, and the 9th house, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius, Sagittarius rules the 9th house, but remember Sagittarius is in your 7th house, which is relationships and things of that nature. So they're saying also when you're dealing with Sagittarius, you could be dealing with in-laws and or foreign languages, foreign cultures. Religion, philosophy, ethic, and law. So Jupiter, again, generous, benevolent, granting us unexpected extra love. But he said unexpected. See, that's where Uranus comes in, because it comes out of nowhere. Affecting those otherwise uncontrolled parameters to be in our favor. But we can't forget what this is all about. See, this is taboo. This is stuff coming out of nowhere, whatever it might be, but it leads to something. And it will be a form of healing and stuff like that, but it'll also be something you have to deal with. You have to pay for. So it's like healing is not, but it's still not because they just use the word Bohemia, and I think Queen, the rap group, if I'm not mistaken, the rock group Bohemia, the rap group Queen used that word too. Um, you just have to be careful because even you got Neptune in the 7th house. See, that's the people think the shit gonna be perfect, but it's a deception. You being set up. Because you have to remember when David was with Bathsheba, he totally forgot. There was nobody David loved more than God. But once he got with Bathsheba, he forgot all about God. Oh, he was chilling in his kingdom. He had her. He had her husband killed, and he was just chilling. He was like in Bathsheba heaven until God came and shook his ass up. Like I said, you're gonna be exposed. All right, so let's look at the word Bohemia, because to me that word really means deception. We'll look it up, but I want to look it up two different ways. I want to say a queen, Bohem. Yep, Bohemian Rhapsody. See my point? Bohemian Rhapsody. Bohem And it's feminine, personal style consisting of no makeup, large baggy clothing, long skirts, and comfortable shoes. That's funny they took that route. So are you interested in feminine personal style consisting of no makeup, large baggy clothing, long skirts, and comfortable shoes? I was definitely not expecting to see that. But now we're going to go to Bohemian. A native born of Bohemia, a person of Bohemian ancestry, or a vagabond. A vagabond. That's interesting. A person with artistic or literary interests who disregards conventional standards of behavior. So it's about the old kingdom of Bohemia, Czechoslovakia. So once you say that, I gotta go to Bohemia. Find out what the hell's going on with that. Now, because like I said, you got to be careful. Like a lot of people don't know that when they say Ukraine and Crimea, that's also connected to melanated people. Even the Netherlands. That's why in your Bible, when God came to planet Earth, Exodus chapter 19, look at verse 7. It says Nether. So when they talk about Netherlands and Europe, at one time that was melanated. So you think, oh, that's Europe, that's way out there in the mountains and the freezing cold and all that. But they were there at one point. And Nether, Netherland, is just another word for the divine womb. Just like hollow is the divine womb. The bottomless pit in Revelation 9 is a divine womb. The deep in the Bible, like in Genesis, the deep, divine womb. The divine darkness is the same, that feminine energy. Moses went into the darkness where God was. Exodus 20, verse 21. The darkness at the 6th hour at the cross. Luke 23, 43 to 46. Again, the divine womb. Now in Suffolk County, now I know this dude. Let me look at his thing, because I'm going to bug out. If that shit show up on his paperwork, I'm going to bug the fuck out. Yup, look at that. Islip. Woo-hoo! I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. And fuck all y'all. All y'all motherfuckers playing me out. I'm going to have the last laugh on everybody think I know what the fuck I'm talking about. The greatest investigator on this planet, in the same category as Lieutenant Columbo, Sherlock Holmes. What's up? My name is Gary, and I'm a Leo. Fuck you for doubting me. You're all gonna get it. That's why I come out every day with the disrespect. People playing me out. Y'all all gonna wish that y'all had listened. When them nuclear warheads start hitting on that ass, you're gonna get put in place by Putin. Alright. And now let's look at Portland. Portland, another location. Portland, Putin. If only y'all knew etymology, and it's 4 a.m., the number of angels, born on the 4th, the number of angels. Woohoo! 26 is 2 sixes, 66 books in the Bible. And the final book is Lilith. She breaks the 66 seal, and then Satan or Saturn comes out. And that's the judgment time, like Bobby Hemmett said. That's the big payback. That's why I say you got two fathers. You got Jupiter, which is like the spiritual aspect of the father, and then you got Saturn or Satan, which is the judgment aspect of it, and that's hell. Woo-hoo! So now we know a little bit of who we talking about. And Bohemia got a direct connection to Jupiter. That would be the Sagittarius energy. And then so does Suffolk. Ha ha. I love my God. Just like I told people recently on my other channel, God said that his people will always know what he's about to do. And I keep asking, how come y'all don't know this shit? All of y'all think y'all so smart. How come none of y'all know this shit? And they so stupid, they still, like me, if I was on the wrong side, I get on the right side. But they so stupid, they stand on the wrong side and they don't realize it's going to be a price to pay for this. So this is Bohemia, New York. So now I got to do one other thing. I want a map, label map of Suffolk County, New York. And it looks like it's along the river somewhere. And I'm feeling, they go my mother's name. And I'm feeling this has some type of connection to like possibly Eskimos. And I could be wrong, but y'all don't understand, like, even with these Indians, because I just found out I'm connected to the Sandhill Indians. They were all over. They wasn't just in one location. These devils lie about everything. So when I say Eskimos, it's probably a connection. Even though these are different people and stuff, I'm not saying Indians and Eskimos, different people, different tribes, but they're not just in the area that these people tell you that they lie about everything. And there it is. I was looking for Islip, and I almost missed it because it's cut off. So let me see. So you got, this is what you got. You got Staten Island, and Staten Island is separated from Manhattan, Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn. Then you got Nassau County. Then you got Long Island, and then you got Suffolk County, and that's connected to Sagittarius constellation, and it's connected to Jupiter because Jupiter rules Sagittarius constellation. Now give me a second. And it's funny that the part I'm looking at was cut off, but it's by Bayshore. But I don't want it cut off because I don't like that. I want to see what I'm looking for, and I don't know why it's cut off, but there's little messages and everything. And why I get mad, you used to be able to use your magnifying glass to make these maps bigger. Now they don't want to do that. All right, so here we go. Islip, kind of, right across from West Babylon. See, Babylon, all this is Bible prophecy. Babylon, Deer Park. And it's funny, I have my mother's name right there. But even like Brookhaven is underneath my mother's name. But even that is kind of connected to our name. You got Brookhaven State Park, Brookhaven. And all this stuff used to be indigenous people. East Hampton, all my family's in Hampton now, Virginia. See my point? If you just understood etymology, this is the shit that matter. Not all this fuckery and all this stupid ass bullshit these dumb down people on. And they gonna all get it. Most of these people carry the same Bible where God say don't love nothing more than me. And they all do. Love the kids more, love this fantasy they chasing. They love everything more than him. But somehow they think, oh, I'm a good person and I'm gonna be there. And according to scripture, no, you're not. And you can't blame them because you won't want somebody saying they love you, but they got all these other people in front of you. But they do it to him constantly, and they think they're not going to pay for that, but they are. That's why you said Babylon is right there. All this shit. All this shit that's in your Bibles and all these maps. Just like the Rocks One used to try to tell y'all. Now, once again, we still gotta look at Bohemia. So it was a large Celtic nation. A lot of people think that they were Europeans, but Sekhmet says that they weren't. She says these were all melanated people in the beginning. So Bohemia is in the largest historical region of the Shikik lands, or Czechoslovakia. I'm pretty sure that is. But they just keep saying Shikik, so maybe I'm wrong, but it's Shikik, Czech, Republic. But they're going to word more again, including Moravia. So you can't get nowhere on this planet without hearing the word more in some way or form. And it became a kingdom in the Holy Roman Empire, and then an Austrian Empire after World War I. So that's when they changed it to Czechoslovakia. Because before that, they were just going CZECH, it seems. I don't know. But that's the first time I seen it was after World War I. So they wanted to be in the Republic of German Austria, but they were told no. But after World War II, from 1938 to 1945, they did become part of Nazi Germany, because Nazis was taking everything. Now I say, what does this got to do? It got everything to do with it, homie. You know what I'm saying? It got everything to do with it. You better learn the energy that's around you. That's what I mean. It's a sucker move. That's why I said the first thing I want to know about anybody, what's the energy? Because I pray against a lot of shit. I mean, it was a person that was responsible for coming here daily, and even another person noticed it. It was the energy on that person was fucked up. So we had to pray, like especially me, but I had to pray against that. But even another person noticed it. Because from the moment that person came on, energy was just fucked up. It's all about energy, my nigga. Don't ever forget that. (1990) became a CZECH Republic, but it became a separate state in 1993 at the breakup. So you got connection, and the reason why people don't understand it, because when you say stuff like this, you just naturally think it was white people, but not the indigenous. That shit didn't happen later on. If you go back to the indigenous, this was melanated people. And that's why I'm going to prove it. When God shows up, they say Nephilim, like I told you. Exodus 19:17. And Exodus 20, verse 21, they say where God was, the darkness where God was. So all that shit was same as his. And at the cross, Luke 23:43 to 46, darkness came at the 6th hour. Once again. And then when you go to the woman at the well in John chapter 4, woman at the well, the 6th hour. All that darkness, all that well, all the bottomless pit, symbolism for the divine womb, the hollow queen, or the bottomless pit, her divine womb. And it's bottomless because she'll never stop creating. She'll never stop giving birth. So when you put stuff back in order and get away from all that silly stuff, the bubblegum stuff and dumbed down stuff, that's your power. Or otherwise, you're going to be all hurt, wondering why this is happening. All the stupids are going to be sleeping around, bringing stuff into the world that you can't respond, you can't even afford it, causing all these other problems. That's when people walking around in the wilderness in circles, don't even know where they're going. But then, like I said, God shows up, and then when God shows up, now you got to pay for all that. You took a life, your life got to be taken. That's when all the games stop, and that's why I call the appearance of God. I call it the viper, and he talks about the viper at John chapter 3, the chapter that everybody talks about. They try to make it seem like it's all salvation, but it's not. It's also judgment. Because he talks about John, he talks about those serpents that were sent to kill the people. That's all in John chapter 3. He's referring to Numbers chapter 21, verses 7 to 9, where God sent all these serpents to kill the people. So if you kept everything in Bible context, you would know what he's talking about. But these people lie about everything. And the people want an easy way out, so they take it. Like I said, bubblegum astrology is going to blow up in your face, and it's going to get you killed. And that damnation is going to be eternal. And when I say kill, like I said, there is no death. It's punishment. But you'll be in a dead-like state to being able to make your own choices or to experience love ever again and stuff like that. Because it's a done deal. And I'm going to say it one more time. Why at the exact end of the 400-year prophecy, Putin goes into the melanated country of Africa, the original people. And even Anania said that because she's an investigator. Even she said that's where everything started. And he's bringing nuclear warheads. Why? Let us continue. But that was very, very interesting. So like I said, you got a lot of past life stuff going on in your 6th house and other locations that I'm in, where we see Pluto, but probably throughout your chart. So then he said, he tried to say something slick. He said, in many cases, Jupiterian intervention can be perceived by the individual as, quote, God's help. Why it gotta be in quotes? You know what I'm saying? Like you saying it ain't God. So you just saying it's Jupiter. Which I believe Jupiter is alive too, because that's what the ancients believe. But don't act like God ain't alive too. So God don't need to be in quotes. God can move Jupiter to help your ass. And they keep saying unexpectedly, which is making me laugh because they keep comparing Jupiter to Uranus. Because they keep going unexpectedly, unexpectedly. So they say Jupiter is the biggest planet of our solar system. And it has the name Zeus by the Greeks and Jupiter by the Romans. So Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system, called Zeus by the Greeks and Jupiter by the Romans. And they say the king of the gods has a final word on the lives of the humans, being just and fair. Well, you just got to be careful, but you got to know how to call out whoever you're calling out to. Because if not, other planets, a lot of stuff has to do with your life and what's going to happen. His opposite counterpart is Saturn. And they say with Saturn, you get yin and yang. But now, if you're going to get yin and yang, you're also going to get the twin flame. That's why I'm telling you, be careful. Because just because it's Saturn, it doesn't necessarily have to be masculine. Jupiter expands, Saturn constricts. But if it works correctly, you'll have a healthy stability. That's why I told you. Mind and body. Mind and emotions, rather. So Jupiter in Scorpio will unveil very powerful characteristics. And might even show nobility. And it's funny because that's another word they use for people who have ruling authority. So Jupiter in Scorpio will shine lights to the shadows, like I told you. All those people started getting busted for taboo and crimes they shouldn't have been committing. And you also realize that after Jupiter into Scorpio, that's when they really started going after these pedophiles. These people have been getting away with that stuff for decades upon decades, and all of a sudden, they really started getting caught in the world. First, the Pope tried to protect them perverts and kick it under the carpet, and they told him if he didn't do something about it, they was coming for him. And then all of a sudden, he changed and started saying to get them. And out here in New Jersey, as far as I know, New Jersey was the only state that really went after these motherfuckers. They be exposing their names so they can't work nowhere and stuff like that. So times have changed. Because all this stuff y'all hearing about, I knew that shit in the 1990s. All you got to do is read up chick publications, those comic books. All this stuff was in them books back then. So everybody knew what was going on, but these people ain't want to do nothing about it because they all in it. And I tell anybody, listen to Mark Taylor, the official Mark Taylor channel on YouTube, because he talks about all that stuff that's going on that ain't nobody talking about. But from what I'm hearing is they're getting more and more secret indictments, and all this stuff is about to become public. And you can kind of believe that because that's what you're hearing about your chart. Anything done taboo, whatever, no matter how sneaky it was, how low, wherever it was, still gonna be found out. Now Jupiter will help you if you use the Scorpio energy in a way that ain't gonna get you locked up. Jupiter will help you be very, very. One way, the sixth house about the home. You could have like kind of home. It could be in a home, but it doesn't have to be in a home. Like you could rent an office building. I've seen people set up shop in a diner somewhere, but some type of study or deeper stuff. But people that support you and stuff like that. Take somebody like TD Jakes. TD Jakes started like in a small ass office building. Like when you go downtown and see them little things, and they can turn it into a store. But he turns it into like a small church or whatever. Now you got like a big ass mega church. One of the richest spiritual people on the planet. Not saying that's the goal of the game, but that's what happens when you got like Scorpio or Jupiter on your side. So again, it keeps saying this person is usually highly sexual. So they say this person, when they have sex, is more about merging of souls. That's why you have to learn your eighth house. What's in there? You get that on the free report. They say it's more about merging of souls than it is about recreative experience. And that is kind of interesting. Now think about what I said, the whole teacher-student thing. Because a lot of times you don't hear about no child's being born. Sometimes you do, but that not as much. You hear about a lot of teachers getting busted with the young or whatever, but you seldom hear about whatever for whatever reason. And they say this person will have sexual, sensual, hypnotic perfume of eroticism. And like I say, fatal attraction, same thing. The universe brought them two together in that elevator. And remember, the elevator is a very mystical place. Takes you all the way back to Egypt. That's why that stuff that went down with Jay-Z and Beyonce, that was on purpose. That was that shit they into. Them secret shit of Egypt and shit. Because you got to know about the King's Chamber and the elevator that took them down to the King's Chamber. The elevator is also Vesta, and she's the priestess, but she can also be highly sexual. Investor can also deal with isolation or not letting anybody else know what's going on. Investor also deals with the home, with Virgo in the home. So again, fatal track, they get in an elevator, they make eye contact, and both of them at that moment in time, that was the souls beginning to merge. Well, I would love to bang her out. And she's looking at him the same way. All you got to do is do it. I'll do it in the elevator right now. Let's go. And he's like, oh man, let me turn around. I got a wife. Got a wife and kid. So at that moment, he was strong enough, but I'm going to tell you how the universe really works. So even though he was strong, he didn't know what he was up against. So now his goal was to get on that train, go on home to his wife and his kid. But then it rains. Rain come out of nowhere. Rainstorm. Now he says, well, no need to be in the rain. Let me just go into the bar, have a couple of drinks, and just go home. Maybe I even have a meal at the bar. This is the city. You can eat dinner here. Save my wife the trouble. So he walks in the bar to go up to the bar. Whoa, who's sitting there? But the same woman that was in that elevator. And again, now this is where he gets his trap in. Because if he didn't sit there, it would have been, well, why didn't you sit there? What are you trying to say about her? So he ain't gonna win. So he thinks, well, I'll sit there, no problem. It's in a public place. Have a couple of conversations when I'm going about my way. But you know how that is. Sitting with her. And then we just said hypnotic, sexual energy, sensual, perfume. So all this shit is fucking with him. Sexually, psychologically, spiritually. You name it. All of that shit is in the soul. Is fucking with him. And alcohol hitting. Might be music in that place. You know how it is. Anybody that ever did that. You know how it is. Well, might as well get a dance in or whatever. Whatever. Then he don't make it home. Now he's sleeping with her. Or when he do get home, it's all late, but he can blame it on the weather. But now it's the home, right? The 6th house, little ones, and that's exactly what she did. She brought her stalking ass into the home, and she really had a relationship with that woman's daughter. She was trying to knock the mother out and take her spot. Now, if you think that shit don't happen in real life, you out of your fucking mind. And that's why I said when a groupie contact me, take that groupie shit somewhere else. Like stalking and this planet, they go hand in hand. So it ain't the first time. You know what I'm saying? So that go hand in hand. So if you ain't ready for the craziness involved with stalking, don't even start that shit. That's why I said, what's up? Oh, hell no, that ain't happening. So you're dealing with a person that's been doing this, understand it, and move a certain way. And I try to teach it. But again, people got to really have a brain and think. And a lot of people don't, because all they want is what they want. And everybody think it can't happen to them until it do. And I've seen a lot of people go down in just the last 2 years for that reason. Because they think it can't happen to them, and then it do. So they say his body is very active in the erotic fields. An individual with Jupiter and Scorpio wants more, more, and more. And again, that's how you get caught. Because remember with David and Bathsheba, he had to have her. Not only did he want her, but he wanted her to be right with him in the kingdom, his kingdom, because that's obsession. That's obsession. Because he could have just brought her there, banged her out, sent her home, and whatever. Kept it was convenient. Because remember, he's the king. So he could always kept her husband in warfare. He didn't have to kill a man. But he wanted what he wanted. Wanted more and more and more. He had to have her. Wasn't going to be without her. And his lust for her, or love or lust was so strong that he forgot all about the God he loved. The God that he overthrew Goliath with. For the God that he became one of the greatest military servants of God in the history. Forgot all that. So that's that power. So during the sexual acts, the natives will connect deeply on a spiritual level And it's going to be like a life-changing experience. And on your chart, it might even be a healing experience in some ways. But remember, you're dealing with past lives. So you might be healing shit from a past life of karmic debts and shit. And they said that it could raise the mortal to the divine level. But didn't I already tell you that? Just looking at your chart, how it went down. Like that person immediately. And that's not the first time that's happened. As soon as I got there, she let me know I'm the one. That Sagittarius Venus connection. I'm the one. So this will be a lot of sex, a lot of eroticism. And they say these people are going to be interested in the occult, magic, mysticism, all that stuff. Reading people's minds, talking through telepathy, dream magic, dream connections. But as I said, all this shit is on that list. You got to read it. So they say that these people can definitely go out of this reality, out of this matrix that we're in, however they do it. Because when they called Dr. York, he was saying shit like that. I'm not from this planet. Dr. York was saying all kind of crazy shit they say when they finally arrested his ass. And I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. These people might be right, but you just can't get away with certain shit under where you're at and the laws that you're under. And it's always gonna allude or end up in some type of public exposure, no matter how careful you are. Because y'all about to see it. If all these secret indictments really do come out like they saying it's gonna come out, y'all gonna hear and see things you never thought you would hear and see. You already seen some shit, but you done got used to it. So this person will experience paranormal. You're gonna be on like the X-File or some type of Alfred Hitchcock or Twilight Zone shit. Strange things from a young age, which trigger this quest that can last a lifetime. Well, it can last until you take it over. That's what I'm trying to tell you. See, I learned this shit, but I'm a different breed. Y'all gotta understand that. I'm a survivor, my nigga. It don't matter what nobody talking about. If I know what's up, because that's how you make it. You don't get caught up on what everybody else is talking about. You don't get caught up with that silly shit. You try to master it. That's what a lion does. See, I'm a sun sign Leo. We're not here for the games. In addition, Jupiter usually offers positive experiences connected with the occult, like I just said. Now they're talking about you may have Jupiter protection, but don't just assume it. Like you got to know how to tap into it. Don't just assume it. And that's where people make that big mistake. Jupiter might save your ass, but then Jupiter may not save your ass. That's why you got the book of Job where nobody stepped in to save Job and he got fucked up and fucked up. His family got killed, all kind of stuff. So you can't just assume. One time David assumed. He said, okay, we can ready to go to warfare. And his soldiers said, well, what about the women and the children and our possessions? David said, don't worry about it. God got it. God will take it. They said, are you sure? David said, yeah, God will take care of it. And they took all the soldiers out in the war. And when they came back, their wives, their children, everything was kidnapped. And the men were going to put David to death. And that's why they say David strengthened himself in the Lord. He strengthened himself in the Lord. That's what he should have did before he left. He didn't ask the Lord about it. He just assumed it was going to happen. So don't just assume shit. You gotta learn how to be constantly talking. And they did get the women back, and nobody got raped. God did protect the women and children and possessions, but he still allowed it to be taken because David didn't ask first. He just assumed. There's a feminine side of God, and women don't like that shit. Women don't like when you just make an assumption and you don't ask. So they're warning this person about being overconfident because that's what Jupiter will do. Jupiter may bless you so well that you begin to take stuff for granted like David did. Jupiter and Scorpio can be very secretive. They say Scorpio under these circumstances might become paranoid though. And why? They may become paranoid because of the supernatural, or they may become paranoid because they got all these secrets going on and they're scared somebody gonna find out. Remember Scarface? He became real paranoid. But see, even his relationship with his sister was weird. That was some weird ass shit. But he became paranoid because of the drugs and shit, and he had all them cameras and shit like that. And Scorpio, like I said, anytime you're dealing with Scorpio or Neptune, you could be dealing with drug users, addicts, and shit like that. And a lot of people that are addicts think that they're not, but they are. A Scorpio and Pluto deal with a lot of obsession. So Jupiter is going to magnify all those traits we talking about. So they say some of these people might become like Bill Clinton. Like they like doing shit. Challenging, trying not to get caught. So these type of people like to hide their shit right in front of your face. And that's what they do. These people that really run the world, they put all the shit they do is right in front of you. Like all the movies, all the shit. Even the stuff you think is real news, that shit is fake news. And they sit there, you thinking somebody about to go to jail and shit. And all of a sudden he like commits suicide or some shit. They laughing in your face. Because a lot of these dudes is into that shit. This is nothing new. Like I said, all this information, all this pedophilia and shit, that been going on. That's why you got the chick publishing comic books way back in the 1990s. Told you everything that's going on and been going on, going to keep on going on. And then even Tom Hanks, who they talking about right now, who's playing Mr. Rogers, the guy that was always with the little kids. Now Tom Hanks did that movie with Dan Aykroyd. The same thing. They showed you in that movie. Where they was investigating people that was doing all that, sacrificing bodies and worshiping serpents and all that shit. So they put this shit right in front of you, but the people keep on laughing. And that's why there ain't nothing funny. Because what they don't understand, judgment is coming one way or another. And that's why I said distance yourself. If you're not part of it, distance yourself. That would say get out of her. Get out of her, my people. If you don't get out of her, you're going to partake in a sense. Because when I fuck her up, you're going to get fucked up too. And that's eternal damnation. Ain't no coming back. So no matter what all these fools talking about, it's about to be on. So it says again, Jupiter makes them overconfident, thinking it can't happen to them, and then all of a sudden it happened to them. And remember, y'all remember the fall of Dr. York? That's how he went down. So they say these type of people fall in some type of trap, and their secrets will be revealed. So they're saying now they finally said the word scandal, because I always knew the Scorpio in the 6th house is scandal, and it's going to be revealed to the public. So they say because it's Scorpio, they say it definitely will be sexual for the most part. Whatever it is, it'll be sexual. But remember, it's not like this is the occult. This is all kind of. It could be sexual magic. And even RFG Chosen One told you some of these people are so corrupt and perverted that they actually love raping kids, and not just raping kids, but torturing them before they kill them. And those of you who do know the Bible, this was going on in Bible times. They was doing the same thing. And that's why God said when you go to the promised land, kill all of them. Because all the wickedness that these people have done and stuff like that, kill all of them. So they say if you're dealing with Scorpio, who is the ruler of the 8th house, you're dealing with money. And it might be money that this native is handling that is not really his money. But that's interesting because he still got money in the 6th house. But you got to understand, a lot of people that deal with child care and stuff got arrested. Even if y'all know her name, Veronica exposed that. Because I remember when I first saw that on television, this black woman, had been found guilty, but I didn't know how serious it was until I turned on Veronica's channel and she went in. So I want to give her name. Give me a second because this browser's acting up. All right, I'm not, because I've been out here too long, so I'm not gonna say it. Wait for this browser. Give me a second. She calls herself Higher Realm Holistics. Higher Realm Holistics. That's Veronica. She's from the islands, from the Caribbean. She tells you a lot of stuff too. See, Astro Codex is real thorough, and sometimes you need that. Because like I said, I could tell you what I say, but people gonna think I'm saying it. Just like that person that was trying to stalk me recently. Anytime somebody act like, oh, they come with all this bullshit, trying to, I could give a fuck less about a compliment. I do what I do because I serve the Most High, I serve the universe. That's exactly how I see it. Now, but they all talking this crap, but they can't tell you one thing. Oh, you like that? What did you like about it? And they can't tell you shit. That's how you know you're dealing with a groupie and shit. They all into your voice, they all into whatever, your words, how you say shit, whatever, but they're not into nothing the fuck you talking about. And any teacher hate that shit. You know what I'm saying? Any real teacher get pissed the fuck off. Oh, you want me to stop and hear this garbage? What the fuck? All this teaching and you can't think one thing I just said? Get the fuck up out of here. So now they're saying this person, well, you're gonna still have money in your sixth house anyway, because Jupiter's there. But they're saying a lot of your money, especially money maybe coming out the eighth house, whatever, but it's other people's money. And you gotta be careful. Cause see, right now, Sophia Stewart, the real mother of the Matrix, she got money that she can't get because that money's connected to Hillary Clinton, one of her lawyers or something. So because they're investigating Hillary Clinton right now, that money is held up. So Sophia Stewart can't get it. So you gotta know how, like I said, you gotta know the law, how money work, and all that shit. Because somebody could be telling you I'm rich, but under circumstances like that, anything could happen. So they're saying some of this money could be government money like a loan or some type of a grant, money, your partner inheritances, or anything that's really somebody else's assets that you have some type of openness to. But that can backfire on you too. Because remember, if you ever get caught for some shit like that, they can lock you up. They can tell you got to pay all that money back, and no way you gonna be able to pay all that money back in a lifetime. They can lock you up. They can do whatever. So, but Jupiter can also help you. See, a lot of times that's how people get involved with Freemasonry, and they go from Freemasonry to child molestation, homosexuality, and all kind of shit. And sometimes other people's money can be money from somebody that died and left you money, other people's inheritances. That's it. That's the eighth house, but Scorpio does rule the eighth house. And that's what we're trying to take, because there's going to be a lot of power struggle. But that's how a lot of these dynasties were. Like these Egyptian dynasties and all these, even European dynasties, because then people want to get rid of you. So like you have people that could know you. Like you could be a grown ass adult having sex with a kid, and they don't say shit. But then they realize, well, we could use this against him, or we could destroy him because of it. And then they use it, but they don't use it for the right reason. They use it, but that's how disgusting this planet is a lot of times. And they say Jupiter and Scorpio can also be illegal ways to get money or whatever, or do any of that stuff, sexually, whatever. And they're saying, but it won't have a good ending. It didn't have a good ending for David, and won't have a good ending for everybody else. Because that really was the downfall of David's kingdom. Because God told him, your children are going to rebel against you. I'm not going to help you. And that really was the destruction of David and his kingdom, was right after God exposed what he did with Bathsheba. And plus, God killed that child. He killed Bathsheba's firstborn. That was David's first child with her. People say he didn't, but if you read the Bible, God told you. He told that I'm gonna take it. So anybody talking about God didn't take it, he said it right in the Bible. He took it. So I hate when people take the Bible, don't read it, and just come up with anything. It's just stupid. That's why I can't do this silly shit no more. I've been here like decades. I just can't do the silly shit no more. Now, for some reason, they started talking about the 12th house, which is interesting. That's that Pisces energy. So now they said dangers of imprisonment and other troubles is present. But I could have told you that anyway. I don't even have to look at your 12th house to tell you that, bro. This is the setup, my nigga. So again, Scorpio, Jupiter could be good research and all that, but that's going to be Scorpio anyway. Say this person will accidentally find a solution of a riddle quicker than others. But no, that's like remember y'all Inspector Clouseau? That's one of my favorite of all time. Inspector Clouseau. Seeking out who stole the Pink Panther and shit. That shit was fun. But only Peter Sellers. If it ain't Peter Sellers, it ain't gonna be no good. No disrespect, but that's how good he played that role. Just like really, Peter Falk was the only dude that could play Inspector Columbo. And they knew each other. They got a movie together. But this is how you know it's metaphysics. Because both of them have movies. They both were kind of like comedians. They both have a movie together. Peter Falk and Peter Sellers. And then they both went on to be two of the biggest inspectors out in the entertainment world. And you can put them in the same category, both of them, as Sherlock Holmes, because they all got their men. You could talk shit about Inspector Clouseau, but he still got his man. So they say that this is the type of person, Jupiter and Scorpio, that can answer the riddle, or if they're an investigator, they can get their man, but it's sheer luck. Like it had nothing to do with wit, intelligence, or investigation and shit. That's what made Inspector Clouseau so good, because he would still get his man, and he was a sheer idiot and shit, and a comedic idiot. That shit was hilariously funny, yo. And they said their answer may lay magically in front of them. But that's why you could make money. Like I said, you could go into that type of, psychic or invest some form of investigation, and you're gonna be blessed by the universe. Because when you fall to your sexual side, especially if it's something that's kind of perverted or taboo, it's gonna blow up in your freaking face, bro. Said a series of random events will unveil what they search without a lot of effort. And remember, the 12th house, Jupiter is the guardian angel, but we don't know his name yet. But we're waiting, because the internet is catching up. I remember when there was very little information on Lilith online. Now there's tons of information on Lilith. So the internet will eventually catch up. Jupiter and Scorpio can be a great science, but I told you that was the ancient Egyptians. They were great scientists, mathematicians. They were doing it all, and they had the mystery system that's still in effect now. And they're saying because of this, you may be very fertile. And again, that means if you land with somebody, get them pregnant real easy. Be like, it's not mine. I put my Jimmy on, and it still be yours. You take the DNA, and it's still yours and shit. But they're saying because of the high sexual drive, and it's gonna be out there. It's gonna be like, or everything gonna be kinky. Like even if you was trying to be a good boy, it's gonna be some female running up on you and shit. It's there. So they're telling you to take precautions not to have unwanted or unexpected pregnancies. And I'll tell anybody, do not take a life. Universal law, you take a life, your life will be taken. So you can make all excuses in the book why it was okay. It's not going to be okay. You're going to be burning in hell for eternity. So they say this fertile stuff you have, it doesn't necessarily have to be in sex. They say any project that you carry out in that sixth house with Jupiter will bring some type of blessing or good fortune. So they're saying this is sowing and growing or sowing and reaping. So that's why I said some people when they say that, that's why. See, you think, oh, this guy says sow and reap. Look at his ministry; it's so big, it's a mega. Oh wow, wow, wow! But that's because of astrology. That's not just because of that guy. Because somebody else will say the same shit and try to imitate him to the T, and it don't work. But when he do it, it works because that's how powerful astrology is. That's why I say anybody telling you astrology is wicked don't want you to grow. They want you to stay in a fucking matrix where they can keep on stealing everything like they've done and keep on saying that they're the people of God when they're not, and all this other bullshit. And as long as you let it keep going down, it's gonna keep happening. Like any bully. But you just have to worry about the downside of all of this. Because you could hurt yourself, hurt other people. Now they're talking about jealousy, obsession, paranoia, revenge, all types of manipulative behaviors. But that's what Scorpio usually is all about. And they also have a problem with trust as well. Once they get to know you, they'll finally start to trust you and let you in. But it takes a while before they trust you. So they say if you want to try to control what's going on in your sixth house, find out what's going on wherever Saturn is on your chart, which we will take a look at. But right now, what I'm calling, we're in the spirit. So I try to go where the spirit tells me to. So if things are not well aspected, Jupiter's gonna kind of like, just like kind of be kind of almost like a bully, but it's gonna be greedy. It's gonna be kind of like a bully, and that'll also get you in trouble. But you're gonna have enemies as well. You're always gonna have enemies when you mess with Scorpio or the 12th house. Even 7th house has 7th house is open enemies. 12th house is hidden enemies, but it's enemies all over the place. And you got jealousy when you're dealing with Scorpio and all that kind of stuff. So people will be trying to get you, and depending on who you're affiliated with, because you will have somebody trying to tap your phone and all that shit, trying to have people betray you. Spies will be around you, because all they're trying to do is to get something on you or whatever, or even just straight, depending on where you from or whatever, just straight up rob you or whatever. All right, that was definitely good information. Now that cross there is a vertex cross, but again at 8 degrees, still representing some form of judgment. With the 20 is a judgment card, which is Pluto, Scorpio energy. And like I said, number 8 could be the strength card, the female and the lion, the 8th degree, but it could also be the justice card, which is Libra energy. All right, now this will be like part 1 because I know this video is going on for a while. And let me just get the estimate of the audio time, because this one part is like over 2 hours. It's gonna be over 2 hours 10 minutes. But I had another part, and I forget how long that was. So I'm gonna open that one up now. So that's 1 hour 8 minutes. So let me write this down. 210. Getting on my nerves. 210, 108, 3 hours 18 minutes. So that's good for a nice size video for part 1. So when we come back, it'll be part 2. And we're going to try to finish his chart. And then we will be looking on. Because that's the main thing he's looking for is, the connection between. Because that's the type of charts I get. But he gotta learn, if he learns anything. And I'm not saying that, but some people, they just are stuck on their emotions. And you'll destroy yourself. And you'll destroy the people you're trying to connect with. You gotta learn how to apply it. Like when you hear, I know you probably heard of the Nation of Gods and Earths, but they say, what's today's math? They talk about the cipher. You gotta learn how to apply, because real wisdom is the application of real knowledge. So if you got wise knowledge, just because you got wise knowledge don't mean you wise. You gotta apply that knowledge. So you gotta learn how to put all this shit in perspective, so that you'll be a winner and not just a typical person that's gonna go down the drain because you ain't apply none of that shit. You too caught up in your feelings and caught up in your heart. And that is a trait of Scorpio. Even though your sun sign or whatever might not be Scorpio, but you could tell Scorpio is major on your chart. And it doesn't take a nuclear science to tell you that you had some type of connection to Scorpio, probably in past lives and shit like that as well. And ironically, your Juno is in your 8th house, which is ruled by Scorpio. So we're gonna look at all that. But the main thing is you want to try to put this stuff to benefit yourself, instead of getting caught up in some type of child molestation or some crazy shit. Like, even if it is, because I'm not saying it's not. Because even Jesus Christ was a little baby, but that was God. If you believe that. If you believe the Bible, then Jesus Christ, even though it was a little baby, it was God, little baby. So there is past lives, and even he said John the Baptist was Elijah, which means past lives. So I get it. I don't have a problem. I'm a very metaphysical, spiritual person. But I know the local sheriff, the local court, the local judge ain't trying to hear none of that shit. Even if he believe it. Like, if off the bench he believes what you saying, he's not going to judge in your favor on that bench. He's going to judge by the law, and he's going to be like, man, you sound like a pervert, you a pedophile, get out of here. Even though inside he's going, yeah, he's probably telling the truth. But what can I do about it? I'm constrained by the law. So you gotta know that and move a certain way so that you don't destabilize yourself or destroy yourself. And already on your chart it's saying if you make it secretive, if you make it so secret nobody should find out, somebody may find out about it again. And see, what's really fucked up is when they find out about it 30 or 40 years later. You know what I'm saying? You chilling, like that, all that shit with Bill Cosby and shit. You chilling. You might not even be that same person you was back then. It don't matter. You still gonna pay for that crime if the law get to you. And you see the number 25 is the law, and look where it's at, right, with that Sagittarius and probably other parts of your chart that we're still figuring out. So we will be back with part 2. Keep in mind, make sure you're on the channel. A lot of offers are going on. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of revelation between now, we're at the end of November, and in December. It's going to be a lot of revelations taking you into 2020. This is the time to be getting in the know. Because like I said, people like this, he was destined for exposure. That's probably going to lead to incarceration. Everything going to be exposed, incarceration. If you do listen to Mark Taylor, the official channel, they're telling you about the secret indictments. Also, you can go to the Prophecy Club, talking about the secret indictments. You do see people getting caught with pedophilia stuff. Like one guy allegedly committed suicide, which I don't believe. I believe he's still alive. He was a pervert, saved by a bunch of perverts. So this is the time where you need to know what's going on. Wake up. Don't wait till they come in with them cuffs and stuff, because it's over at that point. Don't wait till you don't have a job no more because everybody found out what you did in the dark, and now the whole world knows, and everybody looking at you like Mr. Pervert. It's a guy right here in this county just killed himself because his girlfriend went missing, and they still haven't found her or the body yet. But he got caught, and when they caught him, he had all this child paraphernalia stuff, pedophile stuff, pedophilia. They got him, and then they took him to court, locked him up and shit. Then when he came back home, they let him out. They bailed his ass out. When he came back, he hung himself. Now he really committed suicide, because a lot of times they tell you somebody died at home, but they didn't really die. Well, you know, sometimes you makes you wonder. But it is what it is. Just get. I'm out. Be back for part 2.